Oh.
What up, my dude?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Good.
Good.
How was dinner?
It was good.
Was it just you three, or was it
Them and my parents plus my Uncle Mark.
nice? Okay. Where'd you guys go?
When my dad just grilled steaks. It was
Oh, nice.
apparently the 36-year anniversary of my parents' meeting.
Nice. Oh, your parents' meeting.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So
Sounds
they
kinda
keep track of the day they met. Do they keep track of their wedding anniversary, or just the day they met, or they don't even?
My dad keeps track of those two plus like their first or when they got engaged and like their first actual date.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's my dad. It's it's partially autism. Like he's always the one texting me like it's your cousin's birthday today. And I was like, which cousin? And like your third one once removed. You've never met him. And I'm like, I don't need to wish that dude a happy birthday.
I feel like it's kind of rare for men to be good about like that sort of stuff too. Typically, like I feel like
Yes.
it's usually like Leslie's always telling me like, "Hey, it's this person's birthday. Hey, like I know obviously like my mom, like my family's birthday, but like she's like people in my life like your birthday, Gert's like she like writes people's birthdays down. It's kind of nice actually. But,
No, that's nice. Yeah. I mean, I'm bad with dates too. I mean, I
me
remember
too.
the only reason I remember your birthday is because it's after 9/11. That's the only reason I remember.
It's an easy one to remember.
It's an easy one to remember.
It really is.
The fact that your dad was in the Air Force too helps a lot with that. Like that was just a
Yeah.
very weird. That was a very weird weekend for him.
The only one I can always remember is Spears' birthday because I always remember it's around December and then it's around Pearl Harbor too. So I always just remember his.
God, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
That's the only one, and I always just remember Spears because like having a December birthday sucks.
yeah.
But-
And I remember Imhoff's because it's the day after my half birthday, which is also his dad's birthday, weirdly enough. So I know Mike Imhoff's birthday better than I know most people I'm significantly closer with.
Funny. That's funny.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm glad you had a good dinner. I'm excited for this pod, man. I'm ready to. I watched season 5 last night, or episode 5 last night, so I'm all caught up on the bullets.
Okay, so you saw the One Shots episode. That's what I wanted you to watch.
Yeah.
That one. Okay, so that one is very important for me for a number of reasons.
Okay.
One, that's the Supernatural reunion.
Oh yes. That was. It's so funny. We did the Supernaturals draft, and then you keyed me in on John's. What's his name? Johnson or Jansen or
Jensen. It's a weird fucking first name. It's the weirdest fucking first name.
And then as soon as they bring in the Marathon Man, I'm like, because I had obviously been looking up Supernatural since you like it so much, and I was like, holy fuck, that Marathon Man is that other guy.
And the Malchemical dude, that's Castiel. That's a dude that you meet in like I think he's season 3 or 4. But he's like those 3 dudes that's the main Supernatural trio. That's the trio. That is so the golden trio of that franchise.
Yeah, that was really fun. I really like Jensen though. I think he was great in this one too. I'm really starting to.
I still think he'd make a really good Batman in live action. So,
yeah, is he doing voice work, or is his voice just naturally that kind of?
He does. He actually has done the voice of Batman before. So he did the voice of Batman for the most recent run of movies.
Okay.
Because that voice he's doing for Soldier Boy, here's a weird tangent I'm going to go on. Jensen Ackles does better voice work than several people in Invincible. Not to knock the people on Invincible. They're doing probably what they're told. Like, yeah. And the fact that there's so many celebrity voices lends to that. But like, if you listen to Jensen Ackles just like talk in regular life, you're like, oh, that's not the voice he's doing on The Boys. That's not the voice he's doing on Supernatural either. Like,
oh wow, so like, he really
Supernatural bloopers are really funny because when he breaks, you always know when Jensen breaks because his voice entirely changes. Him and Misha both. Misha's is the most extreme because he's playing like a super detached angel, so his voice is very monotone, very much. He's like, one of his favorite lines. He's like, "This pizza man has come in to give this single mom a pizza, but he's just fornicating with her. I don't understand. I don't understand." And then they're like, "Who gave the angel porn?"
That's not he's great. It's like so he's got that voice down of like the 50s like like, and he says like stuff like toots, and I think it's great. I love it. I'm like
He
really,
does
I'm
really.
going to love his performance more.
He's exactly the dude where you're like if you meet that dude in real life and he says something racist, he's like, that's just how he was raised, man. Like his dad was probably 10 times worse. I'm just happy he said black instead of the N-word.
He's got great one-liners. I really do like a lot of his. He's really sketched out a great.
When he's got a 3-step like simile or comparison where he's, I don't know, it's like, you look like a hog got fucked by a rusty dildo. Like the way he delivers that every time is fucking fantastic.
It is. He's really good at it. Yeah. And I like when he just makes these really old 40s, 50s references. He's like, yeah, I haven't fucked that hard since on the cast The Birth of a Nation. And I just think that shit's so funny.
I love having to Google his references.
I know.
Even I'm Googling. Like he's like, yeah, I went out and fucked. This is not one I would have to look up. But he's like, yeah, this is the most cocaine I've done since Lucille Ball's 40th birthday party. It's like, Jesus fucking Christ.
I know. I love it. I think it's really fun. This episode, yeah, but anyway, so I was thinking we're still going to do, like, you put a bunch of overall thoughts, too, in there. I saw your favorite moments in The Boys and Invincible. So I was thinking, I just wanted a few things I wanted to run through, and then we'll like, maybe do that for 30 minutes, and then we'll do the combine bit for the last, like, 30, 45?
Yeah. Yeah, cool. I think that's perfect.
Okay. Well, Tom, you know how we have to start every pod now.
No, that's the thing, yeah.
Are you trying, or is it not
Talk about sports. Yeah, sports. Talk about sports. Yeah, sports. Talk about sports. Sports Tuesday. Talk about sports. Talk about sports. Sports Tuesday. Talk about sports.
Every new season we start, we should see if we can get another, like, 45-second splice, you know?
Yeah.
I think they're really fun. It'll be like our little, like, it'll be fun to do a reveal, like, when we do, like, the August one, you know, like, here's our new, you know? And, like, I still like the general tone of the song, but just, like, maybe, you know, something else. We can make fun of someone in it. We got a lot of different options.
No, we could always, like, ask someone to loop in something else on top of it. Like, we could go outside of that. Yeah.
Or we could get a voice recording of someone too. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, voice recording. If we could get Ben to work in some voice recordings from the draft, that would be a lot of fun.
Oh, it'd be great. I was like the working. God, who was the guy? The Red Zone guy who did Bill. Why are you the way you are?
Oh God.
Oh, they're gonna be so mad at me that I don't know. Scott Hansen. Yeah.
Scott Hansen. That's it. God damn it.
We should definitely loop his shit into this. That would be great too.
That would be really good. That was my favorite part of, like, that really set up the fact that it was Bill and Bennett in the final. Like, I knew exactly what song I needed to do, and it was just his overview of that. I'm really proud of that one. Like, that and the Gertz one, I'm really proud of those two.
It was really good. Well, Tom, you want to tee us up here?
Yeah, let's get started. Let's get into it. All right, so welcome back to the Scuttle, everybody. We have got an incredible episode for you today. I'm joined, almost as always, by my co-host, Alec Ramali. Today, we're going to be talking about some comic book shows. Big shocker for everybody. But these ones, we're going to go a little more mainstream for everybody else.
Well, it's funny. It's mainstream, but also, like, kind of... I mean, it's not as, like, deep as the comic book stuff we talk about, but I don't know how many people actually watch these shows.
From what I can tell at my job, a decent amount of people, like people that don't actually, like the people that I don't talk about Marvel stuff with, have been like, yeah, I watched The Boys. Yeah, I watch Invincible.
Oh, no kidding. Okay, yeah. I didn't really know. Okay, nice. Right. Well, spoiler, that's what we're talking about.
We're talking The Boys. We're talking Invincible today. And we got a nice little twist. We're going to do it. We're going to treat a couple of different characters from both of these shows as if we're watching them on a combine. It feels a little remiss to not have Bill with us, but I don't know for sure that he watches Invincible and The Boys. And I also know for a fact that he had a birthday party last night, so If Bill's upright right now, I'm impressed, my friend. Like I've been to one of your birthday parties before, and I was hurting the next day.
Yeah, I would be hurting too.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, I hope you are feeling well. Bill is coming on a pod eventually, though.
Yes, when we do our next Daredevil pod, probably when this upcoming season wraps up, either before or after Spider-Man, depending on how we feel and timing and all that. Bill will definitely be on that podcast for sure.
Yeah, Bill is a secret. He's deeper into the Marvel lore now than I am. Like,
Marvel Rivals hooked that boy. Yeah, he's gotten into it.
Now. Like, he dropped some ball knowledge. I'm like, damn, okay. Bill's on it.
He asked me some questions the other day. I'm like, Bill, these questions are great fucking questions. Like,
it's great.
You have no idea the weird shit that they could be doing on this goddamn show. Like, it's not even half of what I'm gonna get distracted talking about Bullseye. All right, let's get into The Boys and Invincible. So, how do you want to start this off? You want to go show by show, like with a synopsis?
Let's start with a little bit of just premises of both.
Okay.
I think. So, both of these shows are Amazon properties, funny enough. Both of them I put in my notes are like kind of somewhat making fun of the superhero space. The Boys in a far more biting, acidic way. Invincible in more of a sort of wink-wink, sincere, like, fanboy way of just like we're aware of the tropes and we love them anyway type thing.
Those are big things when it comes to like the comics they're being both adapted from too. Like Robert Kirkman, when he wrote Invincible, was very much a love letter to both Marvel and DC. He even has a crossover, like Invincible goes into the Marvel universe at one point in the comics.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, and Marvel. I actually have that issue right here. I bought they did a re-release version of it. I got it right here for us. It is Marvel Team Up. What is that? 14. Marvel Team Up 14. Invincible Spider-Man. While Spider-Man's on the Avengers, with the new Avengers, with Sentry and Luke Cage and all that, like that Brian Michael Bendis years, it's a fun issue.
That's fun.
But yeah, Kirkman's writing as a love letter to these things, whereas Garth Ennis, who wrote The Boys, like the original comic, Garth Ennis famously hates superheroes.
Oh, I didn't he hates
he hates Superman, he hates Spider-Man, he's a very much a dark, gritty dude. Like the best comics he writes are usually things that don't have to do with superheroes. Like the only Marvel thing he's ever really written is Punisher, and like that's his main, like that's his biggest, most effective work, but Punisher never goes up against like a comic supervillain during his run.
Interesting. Okay. Well, that's good context because we'll just go into a brief summary of each. So The Boys, actually, I'll do Invincible, you do The Boys. Just briefly overview what The Boys is.
So The Boys, I will say it's very, very different from the comics, but in this saga, it is very much similar to Marvel, as it's the world outside our window.
Yes.
In this world, superheroes have been around since about the 1920s, but they really popped off around the 80s-ish. Well, I think for the show, I think they bump it up to like the 2000s. But basically, superheroes have been a big thing for the last like 20-something years. At this point, they have developed a superhuman that's beyond anything they've ever seen, borderline immortal. In this case, they have Homelander.
He's functionally like your Superman satire.
He is a Superman pastiche, but very much in the vein of like just going full on. In the case of the show of The Boys, he's a full on fascist. He's very much a stand-in for Donald Trump in a lot of ways. That's not me saying that. That's Eric Kripke, the showrunner, saying that. To the point where he gets frustrated with Donald Trump being crazy because he's like, how am I supposed to make Homelander crazier than actual Donald Trump sometimes?
Correct. And essentially the show is The Boys refer to a group who are trying to take
Yes,
Homelander.
they are a covert CIA group consisting of Butcher, who's a ex-British op, Mother's Milk, who in the comics is a much more fucked up character than you could possibly imagine. His name actually does carry significant meaning in terms of that. Frenchie, who serves as a like high-end espionage / chemist dude, both in the comics and in the show. The show does a great job with him in particular, I think.
One of my favorite characters.
Yeah, plus and I'm only saying this because this is how they refer to her in the comic. The female in the show, she's more referred to as Kimiko, her name, who's an actual superhero who goes against the grain of the superheroes, who at this point, since they're a man-made construct that has been brought out by like a big giant company.
Yes.
They tend to dive into a hedonistic lifestyle. In particular, in the comics, the point that really sums this up, Homelander has sex with a superhero that I will mention later, and that superhero is like super like excited about it. Like, hey, so we just did this. I'll let you go in my butt, so I can be in the 7, right? And Homelander's like, yeah, I'll think about it. Just leave. And then, like, he leaves and he just, like, he looks in the camera and says, man, I can do whatever the fuck I want, can't I? And that's just kind of how all the superheroes act. And because Homelander's the strongest, he really can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Correct. So the show follows them trying, there's a backstory among Butcher, but more or less the boys, covert ops team trying to kill Superman.
Yeah, trying to basically work as a check on these superheroes, because the CIA is even like, hey, you know, this company might be giving us a bunch of tax dollars and whatnot, but people are dying.
There's a lot of themes, you know, like it's the company, superheroes can be mass produced, so there's a lot of like late capitalism summaries. They do a lot of really good pop culture, I think, satire as well.
Which is something that like has really translated well to the show. Like they've done like that, because that was big in the comics too. Like they would have a bunch like they have the Spider-Man pastiche, the dude that shoots webs out of his butt.
Yes,
he's drawn in The Boys to look like Tobey Maguire.
Oh no shit, that's good. Yeah. See, that's so the show's very self-aware, very biting, pretty cynical. Like not it's funny in like kind of a dark.
It's a very dark way, because you know these guys can bend steel and stuff, and imagine if that dude punches a very soft, fleshy human body.
Yeah, it's very.
You're gonna make a mess. There's a big splash of them.
It's a really good interpretation of laser beams, like laser vision, which and a lot of times feels like a pretty like whatever power, and then you actually see every time Homelander uses his laser vision, it's like, oh, that's frightening.
It's a very frightening power to have, especially
it's really
it's truly terrifying. Like there's so like it's gotten to the point now. Like I've really enjoyed in season 5. Like I'm constantly thinking like, Jesus Christ, is he just gonna laser this dude in front of everybody? Like that's the build up they've gotten to this point in season 5 of the show. Like you never know when Homelander's just gonna be ripping off laser beams.
It's great,
and you know exactly what they do.
So that's The Boys, and then Invincible is an animated show, like Tom said, written by Kirkman, I believe, right? Robert Kirkman wrote it?
Yep, Robert Kirkman wrote it, and he works very closely on the show as well, which is a huge, because Garth Ennis does not work on The Boys at all.
And I don't want to spoil, I guess we are, it gets to the point where we're going to get into a lot of spoilers. It starts off following this guy named Mark Grayson, who is the son of, well, he's at first a regular powered person, eventually he gets superpowers pretty soon after his father, whose father is what I also would call the Superman pastiche.
He's absolutely a Superman pastiche, and he's also weirdly fascist.
Yes, and he is more or less like a space Nazi. Like you end up being discovered that he is a part of this race of aliens. There's like the strongest in the entire known universe, and is trying to essentially colonize each planet across the whole universe. This is all revealed in the end of the first season, so sorry for spoiling it. Really good show, but like I said, this one. Also dark, like has its moments, but it's an animated show. It's not meant for kids, but it's much more kid friendly than The Boys, for sure, I would say.
Yes. I mean, and solely from the fact that there's just like significantly less blood in this. There's not saying that there's not any blood in this. There's a lot of blood in Invincible, especially this last season. Disembowelings are happening so much in this season. It felt like a season of Game of Thrones.
It's a lot of things.
Well, and then once you learn like how Viltrumites work, it kind of makes sense. Like that's what they do. Yeah.
Yes. So that's the premise of the show. Both are really good, and honestly, shows that I have been watching all of them since they came out. But they were shows for me that like I don't think I've ever. I'm not kidding when I say this. I don't think I've ever talked to another person about either of these shows. Maybe my brother about Invincible. I've never talked about these shows, but I've always watched them, which is weird. Like I'm still excited to watch them. I enjoy watching them, but I just they exist in this weird world where they run in the background. Like if someone asks me what I'm watching, I've never said, "Oh, I'm watching this," but I've always enjoyed them. And they're in The Boys. This is its final season, so Tom and I thought it would be a good time to recap The Boys and what it means to us.
Yeah, and not to mention, spoiler. So I've read Invincible. I haven't read The Boys because I haven't heard good things about the actual like writing of it. More so that the ideas and the stories behind it are very interesting. So I do know everything that happened in The Boys comics. But I did read, or I've read the back half of Invincible, and let me tell you, like this last season is a huge turning point in the tone of the show.
And things are about that.
Yeah, things are about to get real, and for The Boys, things are about to wrap up, except for their prequel that they're doing, which is
good too.
Yeah, which I'm excited for because it'll give me more Jensen Ackles and it'll give me more Aya Cash, which I love Aya Cash as well.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So let's start with, so we had a few different topics. We will get to the Combine, but before we get to all of that, just some like stray thoughts overall on the shows. I'll start on, should we start with our favorite moments in The Boys or Invincible? What do you think?
Let's start with The Boys. Yeah.
So The Boys has some great moments. So I think the thing that I think if I were to do like, what is The Boys about? An episode that really stuck out to me was they have a literal superhero orgy. So like Tom said, there was this hedonistic like lifestyle that these supes here live because they are fundamentally like the chosen ones of society. And the show is not, how should I say, shy about revealing what sexual mischievousness these folks can get up to. One scene in particular involves someone shrinking down to a very, very person who has a shrinking power, shrinks down very small.
A la Ant-Man.
What was that?
A la Ant-Man.
Yeah, a la Ant-Man, exactly. Everyone has like an Ant-Man type power. He's crawling into a man's urethra and just kind of playing around in there. Yeah. He accidentally sneezes. That triggers his power to like go to normal size, blowing up
while inside a dick.
Yeah, and so that's like that was like I think that happened fairly early on. Might have been season 2,
It's season 3. Yeah.
And that's what I was like. I mean, I liked the show, but I just respected it. I just really respect it's just like kind of a wild idea. They do a lot of things like that, and that's kind of the tone of the show. Of like, it has this sort of Watchmen idea of like what actual superpowers would look like and it takes a far more
the same dude that like blows up a dude's dick in season 3. I'm pretty sure in like the opening of season 2 they show a party of like a bunch of superheroes and he shrinks down again because apparently that's the thing and goes up into a dude's butthole and tickles it that way and doesn't sneeze apparently and like it goes from that and like if I remember right, he jumps from like out of that butthole into like a dude's or to a girl's vagina or something. Like it's
a lot going on.
They use their powers in very creative ways. There's a pastor. There's a super hard conservative pastor who can stretch his body like Mr. Fantastic, and he stretches exactly what you think he stretches. He makes his dick look like Alec Romali's real quick, and then he just takes care of a lady.
But I think I just appreciate it because I feel like when you're in the superhero game like we are, you definitely like had these thoughts like
no, you can't not have like
it's kind of fun to see a show be like this is like it's just
even the 2005 Fantastic Four movie had a woman saying like once she realizes that like Mr. Fantastic can stretch and stuff, she's like I'm taking him the fuck home. She's like him. Yeah, I know that other dude can light on fire and he's super hot, but he can stretch all of his body however he wants. Yeah, no, I'm picking him.
Superhero, they've done a really good job. And that's like, the show's funny. It doesn't take itself like too seriously, and like it goes into directions that I don't think you see a lot of like it does feel like even something like Deadpool, which is obviously super irreverent, doesn't get for that like this edgy, this graphic.
No, not even the Fox ones.
Like it's pretty. It is like if you're looking for kind of zany stuff, it does a really good job of it, I think. And it always feels like it's a little shock jockey, but it also feels fairly creative. Like I never feel like
it feels creative. It also feels like very realistic of like
yes, that's
what
a good
you
point.
would expect, like those like what to do with these powers, because you have these powers. So the thing about comics is like you see these snippets of these people's lives. Like if you got those powers though, you have to have them for 24 hours, 7 days of the week.
100%.
You're doing everything with those powers. Everything. Everything. And whatever way that you can like figure out like your powers, like you can figure out that it takes you half a second to poop or whatever, like you're gonna find a way to utilize that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever weird gross shit there is, it really leans into that.
It does. It is fun, and like again, I feel like if you're deep into the super, like someone like my dad watches The Boys, and I think he just kind of enjoys it for like just more like the graphic and the violence and all.
My
that.
dad
But,
likes
like,
the lines of it. He loves like the writing. 'Cause the writing is very good on the show, and the
The
insults and
writing's
all of
good,
that are very good. But like
Yes.
he's always like, do they have to show all the sex stuff? And I'm like,
Yeah, I mean it's a lot, but again, it's a fun show. Something you had in here, the Homelander versus Daredevil spoof. I thought for your
God, yes. Oh my God. So
this is good stuff.
at one point in the show, Homelander is interviewing new people for the
This is
Seven.
hilarious.
The Seven is the main like superhero group of the show. They are a Justice League pastiche. They have a speedster. They have an Aquaman ripoff. They have a Batman ripoff. They have two different Green Lantern ripoffs. One of them being Starlight, the main character on the show, and they have a Wonder Woman. At
Yes.
one point, they're recruiting new people, and they have a dude that's like super blind, but he's got super good senses. And he
One
can
of my
dodge
favorites.
whatever. And Homelander's interviewing him, and it seems like it's going really well. And Homelander's like, you know what, this might be a good idea and whatnot. He's like, oh, real quick. I have a question, though. What if someone does this? And he takes his super strength and slaps the dude in the ears with his super hearing and everything. And he's just immediately collapses, starts screaming, and he has a brain hemorrhage. He's like, yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought would happen.
Ripples it. It's great.
Just
stuff.
it immediately destroys the dude. Oh,
Yeah,
it's so
there's just like that's
like
it
that's
was a
really
great moment.
that really is kind of all you got to do with Daredevil. Just like a quick boop and
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because the show, like, sometimes when you watch these like superhero shows, like you do feel like certain things are like off limits, and like that.
Yeah.
I remember when that happened, it was like I
no,
laughed.
that's like
I was
yeah,
shocked.
because like you would think that in the comic, and you don't even think that like Kingpin would do that. You'd be like, he knows Daredevil's blind. He knows, but he would never do that. Homelander, without a minute's hesitation, is like, you can't see it and you can just hear. What if I just? Oh, okay, we're done. We're done.
Which, like, again, like, is part of what makes like Homelander cool and the show cool. It's like these sorts of like like any sort of like fantasy novel or anything. You have to suspend certain things to enjoy it. And
Right.
The Boys very much is like, well, we're not going to suspend.
It's very much it. The main writer, Eric Kripke, is very much coming off as a dude that's thought like, if I was Lex Luthor, I would just carry kryptonite like all the time.
Right.
Why do you not just have kryptonite on you all the time? Like
It's a lot of that vein of thinking. Like, why don't they just do this? No,
Yeah.
Okay, dude, fuck off.
You're annoying and weird, but it's really funny to see it enacted on screen sometimes, especially.
That's what's funny. It's like, it's like we're both like in the game, so like in like real life, that sort of like thought would be irritating if someone said it. But when you watch it on a TV show, it's kind of funny. It works really well.
Another good one, and this happened in the most recent episode, so kind of spoilers for some people. But in the most recent episode, they had a Supernatural reunion with Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy, who I will get into, because Soldier Boy in the comics is very different. Soldier Boy and a speedster character played by Jared Padalecki, who was also on Supernatural, called Marathon Man, and this is very much how I would think that Captain America would deal with a speedster if he didn't have any morals. Because what he does is he just constantly takes people and puts them in between him and the speedster. So the speedster has to run through the person.
Thus exploding.
Which it instantly explodes the person, which in the scene is played by a bunch of very, very funny comedians who keep blowing up.
Great. It's really good.
Kumail Nanjiani in particular, in that whole part of that episode is incredible.
Just a shout out to one of my favorite gimmicks of actors playing themselves. Never gets old to me. I will always ride or die for it.
Yeah, especially Seth Rogen being a producer on this show, putting himself in it. Yeah.
And Seth Rogen, also a voice actor on Invincible, which we'll get to. But that's another thing The Boys does a really good job of. It's one of my other favorite things is their, like I said, their pop culture satire. Like, for example, The Seven has a wildly successful movie franchise. That entertainment division is often brought in. They're in movies. You see, like, producers, directors, actors brought in. The scene Tom is referring to is actual real-life actors like Seth Rogen talking about their business opportunities and what maybe getting rid of some of their potential competitors could do for their careers. It's just really good. Like, again, the show has like struck a really good balance of like being really funny and grotesque, but also like there's been some good arcs, like A-Train. Like A-Train's
arc was incredible. Yeah.
You know, and was that like it was in the comics, Tom?
No. A-Train's was very. I'm pretty sure A-Train dies relatively early. He still is the impetus to bring in Huey into the boys. Huey, who's like kind of the audience's eyes into the world of the boys show. He gets recruited into the boys after his girlfriend gets accidentally murdered by A-Train. Fun fact, in the comics, he's drawn to look like Simon Pegg, and that's why they casted Simon Pegg as his dad on the show.
Oh, that's fun. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So, and the A-Train, for example, so that's like the speedster, as Tom was saying, kind of starts off as, I'm the man, I'm super fast.
Yeah, I'm the fastest there is. Like, there's no one that can beat me. No one can touch me.
I'm kind of selfish. And really does go through, like, what I would call to be a pretty powerful arc through the show. Like, kind of.
It's an arc. I mean, it's almost a Zuko arc.
Yeah, no, agreed.
Yeah, like, it is close. What Zuko goes through is like when you're going from antagonist to close ally. Nobody has done that arc quite like Zuko has on Avatar: The Last Airbender. But A-Train, pardon the pun, gives him a run for his money.
Wow!
Yeah,
look at that. That was a good pun.
I tried.
But it is, and like that, like, and that's what I think. Like, that's why I wanted to talk about this show, because like A-Train has a really good. Or I don't want to spoil it too much, but has a really good kind of conclusion to his story. That's season 5, and I like legitimately kind of felt something. I was like, wow, and I was kind of surprised by it. I didn't realize that I was like such an A-Train fan until his story kind of concluded, and I was like, wow, like that is it was cool. Like, and I think the show has had enough of those sort of like. It's not.
They've had a lot of those payoff moments. Queen Maeve's was really good. Black Noir's was really good. And what I liked about Black Noir's is that we got more context on that after the fact by revealing that he was close with Soldier Boy and all that.
Yeah, and I would say that like something I think I like about the boys. I was thinking more about this is like I think like Deadpool's sentimentality can get almost a little too much for me, a little too hokey.
Yeah.
But I think The Boys strikes a really good balance of like the grotesque and the like R-rated and the orgies and the violence, and then actually like sentimental moments that don't feel cheap or like little, it's
weird that Huey can be such a wholesome character still. And it works.
I agree.
I don't. Yeah. I'm not even fully sure why that's still working. That may just be Jack Quaid.
I was going to say,
just general likeness, like. No matter how shitty things get, like I will always like Jack Quaid. I just always enjoy having him around.
He's a great character, and I think but I think that's a big reason why the show works is it gives you just enough of like the like heart that like the the cynical side, the like nasty side doesn't. It pairs really nicely, and I think that can be a really hard tone to like keep together,
Yeah,
and I think The Boys has always navigated that well.
Hard agree. I mean, like I said, if you're going to give anybody 5 seasons of a show to build a perfect arc from beginning to end, you give it to Eric Kripke.
Amen to this. And that's another the great thing about the show is the show feels like it's actually ending at a time that it really should be ending. Too,
no, this is very much like I would not have been shocked if they had been offered more money to keep it going, but like. I'd even say season 4, it felt like a bit of a stretch that they hadn't killed Homelander yet.
Agreed. I think this is,
and I think they handled that season 4 very well to set it up like as a whole of like they're going to get as close as they possibly can, fall a little short, and then like he's going, and then that, and narratively that makes it make more sense for him to go fully batshit crazy like he has this season.
And that's what I was saying, where there's still meat. I think why I like this, like they could have killed him in season 4, but I think they've done a cool job of, like you said, Homelander is now going full, I'm like literal God Messiah mode here. And it's kind of he's always had this in his character. So it feels like he's reached the final zenith of his arc, and now the show's ending, and he's kind of like, so it's really like a well-made show. Like, it really feels like, like Full Metal Alchemist, like shows.
Yes,
like,
Full Metal Alchemist is a great example. Just finished rewatching that, by the way.
Great show. God, it's so fun.
God, and let me tell you, oh my God, sorry for the detraction into anime real quick, but on the show, my first time rewatching, Celine came up, and I immediately just shoot the kid in the fucking face. Shoot that kid in the fucking face. Shoot that kid in the fucking face. I fucking hate that kid. I hate him.
I know.
Oh my God. Because the first person he meets that we know is Hawkeye. So I was immediately like Hawkeye, you gotta shoot that fucking kid in the face. I know. I just wanted to be that little devil on her shoulder, just shoot that fucking kid. I know you feel it in your bones. Something ain't right about him. Just shoot him. We'll figure it out later.
But yeah, very similar to those shows. It's nice. It's probably 60 episodes. I would very bingeable. The quality, that's the other thing too. Quality stayed really high. I don't think there was any season that ever felt really low quality. Overall, really good show.
No.
And if you like superheroes, that's the thing too. If you don't like superhero stuff, I think you'd like it. And if you do like superhero stuff, I think you'd like. I think it's
it works both ways. Yeah, the only people that would not like it are people that are hardcore superhero golden age purists, where they're if everything doesn't turn out hunky dory at the end, it's a bad comic thing, and it's we've moved a little past that at this point.
It's
the '90s happened.
Yes. Where we kind of exactly. But. That's The Boys. Great show. We'll get into more of the Combine selection later.
Right.
But let's move into Invincible. Also a great show.
Beautiful show.
Probably, I'm glad I'm asking you this question, Tom. What is your favorite animated American show of all time?
That's a tricky one. I want to preface this real quick. For a lot of people that have a lot of confusion about a certain animated show. Looney Tunes is not an animated show. Looney Tunes is a series of short films that were released before movies throughout the 30s all the way up to the 60s. It did get released later as a TV series, but those are all it's a re-release. It's not a TV show. It's not an anime TV show.
Fair. Okay, that's a good caveat.
Because at the end of the day, if you're asking me to pick animated characters, I'm always picking Bugs, because Bugs wins every fight. Except for one fight, and if anybody can tell me the dude that wins that fight, I'll be shocked. I'll marry that person even if it's a dude. I'd be yeah, we'll just do a partnership. You're a dude I can talk to every single fucking day. You're the only person other than Alec that I can talk to every day about this shit.
Yeah, I can't answer that question. So
no one fucking can. It's a weird ass little bird. Oh my God. Anyway, if I'm picking an American animated show, I'm picking Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yep, I was thinking that's one is probably the gold standard, I would say.
That is my gold standard for an animated show for multiple levels. One, the message of that show I resonate very, very hard with. It's very Captain America in its message, yes. I would say. It's very much that, war is sometimes necessary, but it is never good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
They, at 100%, they needed to go to war against the Fire Nation, but it sucked for everybody. It sucked for the Fire Nation, too, and that's my favorite. Season 3 of that show is really,
It's great stuff, and the reason I ask is watching Invincible made me want to rewatch Avatar, because Invincible's moving up the list for me.
Yes.
After this last season, and everything I'm hearing is that you don't even know what's. I can't.
If they can maintain the quality of adaptation to what the back half of Invincible is, then it will replace Avatar for me, because it does. It covers a lot of the same themes and even goes a lot further.
Yes, and people who have whose opinion I respect have said similar things, that if you like it now, just wait. And in particular. And like I said, I really want to watch it because the show has. I do think I like Invincible more than The Boys even.
Yeah. After this season, yeah, because
The Boys is great.
Yeah. I was really
But-
worried for this season that the animation would make a big drop off because it's hard to keep an animation studio like this for so long unless you're in Japan, and we'll get into that difference in a minute.
I do want to talk
Because
about that,
I know you wanted to. But like they've managed to maintain it for the most part, or at
Yes.
least where it matters, and that's really impressive.
And and I would say, like, particularly to Bill, like, if you're getting deep, like, I just think if you really fuck with Marvel stuff, like, in general, Marvel comic stuff, like, I just think Invincible does such a good job of, like, really doing the, I am aware of how silly this is at times, these tropes, this genre that I love, but I still love it anyway. I'm a sucker for that sort of thing, and Invincible nails that tone. And they just have a lot of really good moments throughout the show. But the show also is like, it has real emotional depth too. Like, it really is like trying, like, it does not, this is not like a straight good guys win, bad guy loses. Like, there's real topics discussed. There's abortion, there's suicide. I mean, it's a real show with real thoughts.
Yeah, it gets very real very fast, kind of like The Boys does, but in a very different way.
Yes,
like it feels more. It's very. I'd say it's much more like the OG Spider-Man comics in that regard. It's very much like trying to figure out how you pay rent in that type of shit and live life while with superpowers and stuff. And Invincible, thankfully, takes that like a step further and saying like, what if you were, set against your own people? What if you were one of two people and had to go to war about it and all that type of stuff? Like it feels like, I guess the best way to describe it would be like, what if someone was allowed to write over 100 issues of Spider-Man and end it however they wanted, instead of having to revert to the status quo of what they wanted? And that's that's a big part of why Invincible is the way it is.
Yes, and I think you tapped into a good like Spider-Man comp, because like Mark Grayson as a character has a very like Peter Parker-esque sort of like, I'm a person who's overwhelmed. I'm a person who's like, I have a moral compass, but sometimes I don't, like, it points me in directions that I wasn't anticipating. Like, the similarities between Mark Grayson and Peter Parker are, they're there. They're definitely
there.
Like,
and they're there for a reason. And unfortunately, it's not because Mark Grayson is really based off of Peter Parker. It's because Mark Grayson is based off Nightwing.
No kidding.
That's why his last name is Grayson.
Oh, that's so fun.
Yeah.
I love
Kirkman has said Kirkman's a dude that, like, if you ask him who's better, Batman or Superman, he says Nightwing. And that, and for me, I think that's the correct answer. Like, if you're telling me to choose between Batman and Superman, we all know that, like, with prep time, Batman can win that fight because all you need is kryptonite, and Superman has his moral code and stuff. But, like, Nightwing can call anybody. That's what people don't understand, is what makes Dick Grayson such a great character in the comics, and what's making Mark Grayson such a great character in Invincible, because he's got all these connections with the Coalition of Planets, with the Guardians of the Globe. And, as much as he doesn't really like Cecil, he's still connected to Cecil. Now he's connected to the Demon Underworld, which is like an expansion that Robert Kirkman's doing through the Herm thing. Not to pull from, something I always pull from, but Monkey D. Luffy's greatest asset.
I knew you were going there. As soon as you said not to pull from, I was like, oh, this is going to be...
Straw Hat Luffy, future king of the pirates. He may be able to stretch and do all kinds of crazy things with his body. The fact of the matter is, if you fight Luffy, you end up as his friend at the end. And that's terrifying for a lot of people.
Which is true. And, like, in Mark Grayson, he is, like... that's great about the Nightwing thing.
It's very important for his arc going forward as well. Not to spoil too much, but, like, his ability to create connections is undeniably important in the future.
Okay. But to say, like, but I think The Boys does a good job, or excuse me, Invincible does. So, like, the first episode of Invincible, which I rewatched in preparation for this, is Omni-Man, who's Mark Grayson's dad, who, again, is the superhero stand-in, who literally just murders the entire Justice League stand-in. They're called the Guardians of the Galaxy. Opens up, really pretty violent, absolutely tears them apart, pretty violent, gruesome, and it was like, and I literally, from that moment, I was hooked. I was like, wow, that is a really cool.
That's like the end of the first 6-issue arc in the comic, and that's when like sales exploded for that comic.
Oh, really? Is that right?
Yeah, because I mean, you can't start off with that. Like, start of Invincible. It seems like it starts very much like, oh, like this is just a superhero story of like what would happen if Superman had a son. Okay, that's interesting. I like that. Oh, Superman just killed the whole fucking Justice League. Okay, this is a different fucking comic. Okay. What do we do from here?
And that's just how like season 1 is all about. Like, and in the show, it's like, and the show also engages with a lot of different mediums too. Like you're in space a bunch. You're doing time travel. You're doing portal travel.
Yeah, it's very Marvel in that regard, in that it touches every genre. Which
it does.
When it comes to Marvel comics, like that, they're much better at that than DC is.
Yes, they are, and like it really gives it the show this sort of like scope that is like, you know, this like it just feels all encompassing when you're in it, a lot bigger, because it's like literally the entire galaxy. You know, it's just kind of cool in that sense. So Invincible that and so the other thing about like the Invincible show is that Tom and I really enjoyed is. Like, so I'll let you tee this one up. The show is like very, like I said, it really wrestles with like morality, you know. And I think like you had the think mark as one of your favorite moments in Invincible, which was a great one to call out. You should just like, because I think this does a good job of encapsulating why I think the show is so awesome, you know.
And for me, this is where it gets really into the ideologies of the show, because you know, as much as like I disagree with Nolan has a point. So
100%. Yes.
At the climax of season 1, Mark finds out that his dad has killed the Guardians of the Globe and confronts him and tries to find out why he's doing this. And it turns out that Mark's or Nolan's alien empire is not as benevolent as he seems. They have been going to planets trying to find potential outposts for their empire to expand and increase their population. And now that it's been confirmed that Mark has powers and that Viltrumites can breed with Earthlings, the Empire's coming, and he's going to prep the Earth for their arrival. The Viltrumites they are Darwinian in the sense that they believe in strongest of the fittest. Season 4, we learn a lot about that, about their culture and stuff. And you know, as much as, you know, I hate any sort of superiority and genocide all over that, the Viltrumites might have a point that they are better than most people. They can move through space while controlling their inertia. They have insane healing abilities that would make Superman blush. And, anything short of heat vision, they're basically just as strong as Superman, especially when it comes to Thrag.
100%.
But at the end of the day, Mark's still human. He decides to fight his dad, even though he's going to lose. And Nolan beats the shit out of Mark.
And like I will say, the show is violent. Like, it is not like
Nolan beats the living shit out of his son to an almost if it wasn't for the fact that Mark is a Viltrumite, he'd be unrecognizable afterwards. It'd be like the worst car crash you've ever fucking seen. And he gets to a point where he gets Nolan gets frustrated with Mark, saying like, we're Viltrumites. We're going to live for thousands and thousands of years.
Yes.
Think for a second. Like, no matter what, they're coming. They're going to live for thousands of years. Think. In 1,000 years, what are you going to have left? This whole planet's going to be fucking gone. Like, whether Viltrum comes or not, everyone you know is going to be fucking dead. So what the fuck are you doing?
And it's really cool. And like I said, like, there's a real actual sort of like you said, there is obviously don't necessarily have to agree with Nolan, but it is a very
it does make sense. Like thinking because I mean, so from Mark's perspective, he's been raised as a human. He only thinks in a human perspective. He only thinks 80 years at the time.
Right.
By the time Nolan was 80 years old, he probably wasn't like allowed to drive a car in terms of Viltrumite culture.
Right. Exactly. It'd be like 10.
Yeah, he's 2,000 years old. Like that's crazy. Humans are a blink of his eye.
Totally, and it does kind of, and they explore that of like how much like was the.
Oh, they're gonna keep exploring it, buddy. They keep exploring it.
Yeah, and it's like it was so like Mark's like, wait, was my mom? Was she like a pet to you? Like, there's like real.
Yeah, no, like, that whole thing is like, and that one is even more hard to explain because like, can you consider a conscious being a pet? Like that's fucked up in its own kind of way. But in terms of like thinking like. She's going to live for, like, I'm definitely going to outlive her. I'm going to outlive her by a hilariously long amount of time. That makes sense to think about as a pet.
Right. And there's just really interesting moments. And, like, that's when the show, like, that was a really cool moment on the show. And I would say, like, a lot of the, and this is why I like anime. And I said, like, this show feels like, anime, I feel like, really reaches for emotional complexity while still giving you, like, the fun action and animation. And Invincible, like, is the closest I've seen other than Avatar to really kind of reaching for that, and they really do a good job. And like when I had that think mark, it was really good. It was like, damn, okay,
yeah.
And it's worth calling out that J.K. Simmons, which we'll get into later, does the voice work for it, and is an absolutely out. J.K. Simmons did J. Jonah Jameson, Whiplash. You would know him if you saw him.
Yeah,
and is an outstanding voice actor, really good, and it's a really like. Dramatic, powerful scene. It really is.
It's intense, and the reason I put that as one of my favorite moments is kind of that thought is kind of in Mark's head throughout the whole series, and pops up at the very end as well. And it's very nice the way it pops up at the end. I don't want to spoil too much, but.
Nice, but I will say like there's a lot in that. Like I think why I like that think mark is because like that's like the more kind of like the emotional complexity. But like I said, that also encapsulates another thing I really like about Invincible, which is I think their fight scenes, like again, nothing is as good as Japanese animation, but their fight scenes, what they lack in what I would call like beauty, they make up for. They are gruesome. I mean, they are really like the conquest fights. If you ever stick around, the conquest fights are like some of like. I have a high tolerance for violence, super high tolerance. Like it's a lot. We
grew up on Tarantino. We can deal with some shit.
Yeah, and their
Conquest is another thing.
It's like, damn, dude. Like I'm like really kind of like, it's good. Like it's really impressive. Like how they make you feel it in a really cool way that I'm not even sure in like some of my favorite anime I've ever seen. Like feel the physicality of the fight as much
Honestly, the only story I've ever seen that honestly compares to that level of violence. And it just got announced that it's going to get an anime here soon. It's called Kagurabachi. I binged the whole series on Shonen Jump, but it's going to come out as an anime soon. It's being done by MAPPA, the same people that do Jujutsu Kaisen, and it is going to be the sword version of Jujutsu Kaisen. And it starts out so much more violent because it starts with swords, so...
Right, he's just wait. What's the name of it, Tom?
Kagurabachi, Kagura Bachi. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, and you said you just put this down.
Oh, I put that down in like a weekend. There's only like little over 100 chapters out right now. Okay. They just got to a big, kind of like a time skip point. They got through the first major saga, and now they're doing like a background saga, and then I think after that they'll wrap it up. So it'll probably end up being about as long as Jujutsu Kaisen.
God, this looks sick.
It's sick as fuck. It is quite like I would say it is kind of just Jujutsu Kaisen with swords and without like cursed spirits, or at least I think the most recent background chapters might throw a whole wrench into that, but. We'll see how that goes, but it's really fucking good, and it is
violent.
It made Kill Bill look like a children's movie.
yeah, this is right up my alley. But and Invincible does a really good job of that, and it's like, and I think when you kind of add all this in together, where you have this like really sincere heart with Mark Grayson, you have this real sort of like violent aspect, you have this really sort of like love letter to superheroes. Just a lot of things being done on this show. We haven't even mentioned probably one of my favorite. I know it's one of your favorite characters, Mark's mother, Debbie. An all-time, another great like arc in the show. Like like she is probably my favorite character. I mean, I have so many favorite characters on Invincible, but she's probably up there. I didn't pick her as one of my.
She was my season 4 standout.
She's
I would say
so
that.
good.
Like she may not be my favorite character in the whole show. That kind of goes back and forth, and I'm also kind of spoiled by the fact that I know where a lot of these characters are going. Keep an eye on Battle Beast. He's so much fun.
Battle Beast is great.
Battle Beast is just so much fun, and I'm telling you, spoiler alert. There's no growth to Battle Beast. He is who he is.
Static is great.
Any growth would be disappointing in him, to be honest. Like
Honestly,
he just wants to fucking fight, and he just wants to find the strongest dude, and he's like, if you're not strong enough, I'm going to kill you and move on.
And then I'm moving on. Man.
I'm moving on. And I love he got so mad at Alan. He's like, you promised me more fucking Viltrumites, man. Like, where are they?
He's very Hisoka coded in.
Yes.
He's like a more alpha E of Hisoka in Hunter x Hunter. Just like I'm looking for that.
He's
baby.
almost like DBZ abridged Goku.
Yeah.
Like
totally.
just a bloodthirsty version of that. Like just like
yes,
I just want where's the strong guy? I'm gonna fight him. That's all that's my whole arc.
Tom, I gotta hop to. Can we pause this?
Yeah.
I still get into my YouTube algo.
Yeah.
Like that, I would say like I go through like these weird spells. My YouTube algo, like like time in between meetings. Movie scenes are always number one. Like,
right.
I'll watch some movie scene, but I'll go through like a spell of DBZ, Attack on Titan, Family Guy, Rick and Morty are kind of the four that they seem like they'll go in like seasons.
Oh, you haven't gotten the Full Metal edits yet?
I don't.
Dude, those ones go hard. Those ones are fun. They go hard, yeah.
Dude, I gotta put that. Dude,
yeah,
I'm so. I mean,
just Google one. Like any one of them, like will like it because it's such a good series and the emotional beats for it and everything. All it takes is like 2 seconds. You just got to see fucking Captain Hughes once, and you're like, oh god, I'm gonna start crying. Or
Full Metal, I think, is like the platonic ideal of the hero's journey. I don't think there's a better one, honestly. Like it is like just a perfect hero's journey. Perfect. Not true. I wouldn't change it.
No, there's no editing to Full Metal. Like the only like God, it is so good.
Perfect. It's just like I honestly, it's so fucking good, dude.
And I'm gonna be honest, like when because in my opinion, I think that Full Metal had a perfect ending, and that's a very, very hard thing for a manga or anime to do. Like I don't like Naruto and Bleach do not have perfect endings. Naruto's Kaguya doesn't technically come out of nowhere, but she's not given enough time to be fully fleshed out, and they push that off to Boruto. And I do actually like parts of that for Boruto, but that's a whole other thing. And then Bleach unfortunately gets rushed because the author starts having health issues, and he's like, I need to retire, and it's like, fuck.
You can feel it. Yeah.
That's why I'm really enjoying, like, I want you to watch Bleach, but that's a lot. Bleach is a lot. It's like 700 episodes.
These are brutal on my heart. These 700 1,000 episodes.
It really is just Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece, though. That is kind of the one good thing that's come out of that era is that Japan learned their lesson. It's not like American media companies where they're like, oh, so we just need to have they would take from that, like, everything needs to be 700 chapters, and then we'll go from there. And it's like, no.
Dude.
It's about ending at the right time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why, I gotta start getting Full Metal in mind. Because like I said, you're dead right. The ending is chef's kiss.
It's perfect. It's so perfect. And Jujutsu Kaisen, I think, also has a perfect ending, especially with Modulo and the epilogue to it. I think it really fully forms it. And Mappa did a concept promo of what Jujutsu Kaisen Modulo would look like, and it looks fucking sick.
Now we're talking, baby.
Yeah.
This is the
No,
shit.
so even when like the final season of Jujutsu Kaisen happens, there will be one more season of, I think, the 25 chapters of Modulo, and I think they'll probably do like 2 chapters an episode and just do it in like 13 episodes, which is perfect. It's all it needed. It's all it needed. It was a perfect.
We were talking about JJK last time. You said I'm glad that they're doing this correctly because you said it's pretty cool. Like you really liked it. I remember you saying like it's a nice coda to them.
God, I mean, I have not liked an ending of as much as Jujutsu Kaisen. Well, I did technically know that ending before Full Metal. I when it comes to endings, I would say Death Note, Attack on Titan, Full Metal were like the original perfect endings, I would say, to a anime or manga.
I didn't love Death Note. I didn't hate it. I don't know. For me,
I like it I wish the ending was the same, but I wish it had ended with L.
Yes. No, that's exactly my take. Like once they got him out of it, I was like, it's still good, but like
it does draw. Like it draws.
It does. And like it's cool where it's like his death like made Light fuck up. Like so it's like he does it doesn't, you know, it's like he wasn't.
Yeah, he does still technically outsmart him and win by dying, which I understand that idea, especially if when like you're writing it out for the first time. It only looks bad in hindsight. Like I'm sure when he was writing it, he thought it was perfect, and it probably looked really good too. Like I you know, to be fair, reading it as a manga might have been a little different because it's more fleshed out with the chapters and whatnot. But I'm just like you said, when you had L versus Light, it was this beat. Dude, I've told you before, like, I love when it's a super smart dude, and L is just, he really is literally just a Sherlock Holmes stand-in until he dies, and then they're like, actually, we lied, he's Batman, and he's got a bunch of Robins.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That is a wild thing. My brother liked Death Note so much that when he's coding, he would sit like L. Like how he would like sit, like stand in the chair. He would code like that because he thought it was so cool. That show fucking rips, man.
But
anyway,
no, between those, Jujutsu Kaisen, Demon Slayer,
dude,
those ones.
I still haven't seen the Demon Slayer movie yet, which I know is a sin. It's not like on. I can't get it. I can't even rent it. I don't know where. Like, I don't even think it's like in like streaming yet.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where it is yet either. It's hard for me to watch the movies because I know that the anime is going to be doing all these arcs eventually. And I'm going to like the anime one probably more because it's more fleshed out.
Demon Slayer?
Demon Slayer, yeah.
Wait, Demon Slayer is done. The movie was the last thing.
Oh, did they do the movie? Oh, so the movie is like the conclusion?
Final. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing it like that. That's my bad.
Yeah, all the arcs, and then the Demon Slayer is like the.
They've done all the arcs? They did. Oh.
I don't know if they did all of the manga arcs that like. But like the show, like the anime's done. Like the movie was the final anime. Yeah.
Okay. Well, then they gotta be done with. There's no way they wouldn't finish that manga. It would be nonsensical not to. Because
yeah. I mean.
So then what was the last anime season? What was like the arc? It should have been.
Well, it was them training. It was more or less like a prelude. Like it was literally just.
Okay. So it should be the Swordsmith arc.
Yes, the Swordsman arc. Yeah. Wait. No, is the Swordsman arc when they go into the village and it's like the people that make all the swords? No. They do an arc, and that's the second to last one. Then they do this like weird 8 episode.
Oh, the Hashira training arc.
Yes, that's the final one before the movie. Yeah.
Gotcha. So they did the full final saga as a movie? It seems tight.
Oh, yeah, like
it seems tight. I don't know how I feel about that.
It was. I know some people weren't thrilled about it. It was like a 2 hour 45-minute movie.
Okay. Still, that's
yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna be nervous about that though. That's tight because that's like 50 chapters. I feel like
people who saw it weren't thrilled about how it ended.
Okay,
I know that.
Well, then that. Well, shit.
I
I
literally saw anything but that. But yeah, Demon Slayer is good. Beautiful animation, but it's definitely lower on my list. Like I still like it, but it's pretty basic, I think.
The ending is what got me for that one.
Okay. So people's I don't know, but again, like, okay, because I mean, the demon stuff is cool, and like I like they do paint I like how the demons always get a little like love at the end of the arcs, but yeah, it's yeah. Anyway,
yeah, they do get that, but yeah, the ending for that one is what really got me, especially on especially the final fight. It's really the final fight is really good and pays off. I feel like pays off a lot of the themes of what everything about it is, and that's something that really bugs me about a lot of manga and anime is that I feel like they lose the point of the first chapter sometimes, which is relatively easy to do. Like I felt like Naruto lost the point of the first chapter. Like I'm not a huge fan of Naruto being like a child of destiny and whatnot. I know it doesn't necessarily change the fact that he still did all his training and stuff without any of that knowledge or whatever, but yeah.
Okay. Well, we
got to get back into Invincible.
So, are you?
I was gonna say I wanted to wrap. I was gonna say we wrap up Invincible and then go into the Combine parts of it.
Yeah, I agree. I pretty much I know we went long. I could did you have anything you wanted to talk about with Invincible before we?
I wanted to talk about Rex's death and then why American animation isn't as good as Japanese animation.
Yes, I do want to talk about that. Okay, both those. Okay, so you count it down and then we'll just go from there.
Okay, we'll start with Rex's death. All right, 3, 2. All right, welcome back. We are still talking about Invincible. We're going to wrap it up with 2 quick things real quick. One key moment of the series that I wanted to talk about, mainly because I just wanted to talk about one of the characters, or one of the actors on the show, Jason Mantzoukas. He voices Rexplode on the show, who's essentially just a Gambit pastiche, but without the accent, he's just awesome.
Great character, great voice work by him.
Jason Mantzoukas apparently has a deep body of voice work I wasn't quite as aware of.
Well, this is of the League fame, Jason Mantzoukas.
Yes, this is Rafi, guys. Everybody here knows who Jason Mantzoukas is. It's Rafi.
It's the greatest. Yeah.
In particular, I'd say the best thing he's done recently. He was on 2 seasons ago now of Taskmaster, which is a British reality show where a bunch of comedians do tasks for points. If you ever watched it, you'd be like, this seems a lot like Tom's Trivia. There's a fucking reason for that. I'm very much stealing a lot of stuff from Alex Horn. But his mantra on that show was destroy, dismantle, engulf in flames whenever possible. But he does a great job with his final scene. He does die in season 3.
Really good death.
Great death. And takes out someone who is significantly stronger than him, too. Which, when it comes to comics and superhero stuff, is not something you actually see all that often nowadays.
It's not. It's not. In fact, it's pretty rare.
It's a lot rarer now. Usually the thing that happens now, and I would say that this is both the concept itself of beating someone stronger than you and the trope that gets around it nowadays, which is the training arc, both come from Dragon Ball. Because back in the day, Goku was regularly beating people that were stronger than him. He would outsmart them. And then the Saiyan saga happens, and we decide no, we just need to keep punching and getting stronger. And it always turns into, and to quote DBZ Abridged, what if we hit him really, really hard?
I mean,
sure.
Whatever. Yeah, it's a really good. So his character is, like you said, it's kind of a Gambit stand-in. Kind of like the piece of shit with a heart of gold. It's an arc you're familiar with, but he has a really, I don't know, it was a really. I'm glad you brought this up because I was thinking about some of my favorite deaths of all time on the of things that really are good. Yeah, so obviously the captain in Attack on Titan comes to mind, but Jace, he has a really. and it's good because like he never like portrayed himself as a hero either. He kind of always had this more like I'm just kind of a little galleon, you know. And then he has like a truly really heroic death. That's cool.
I like how his arc goes from like he starts off being just kind of like a piece of shit teenager, not really taking responsibility for his actions, which you kind of expect from a teenage dude. He's kind of a douche, but he has a bit of a heart of gold. And then he kind of leans into the idea of just being a douche and just doing whatever he wants for himself, because as much as like he has a brief dalliance of trying to be nicer, and everybody he tries to be nice to is just like a dick to him. Just kind of understandable, because if you've been a dick for 5 years and you decide to suddenly be nice for a week, everybody's gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with you, dude? Why are you being weird? We don't trust it. And just kind of lives for himself for a while, but then dies, like, you know, buying time for other heroes, saving someone else's life, and it all kind of... A big theme from Invincible is, like, the trauma of being a superhero changes your perspective, and he has a lot of traumatic moments and eventually changes his perspective to a more heroic one, but not necessarily one that I would say is, like, Captain America level heroic.
Correct. And I think it's cool, too, because it's very much like his death has this sort of, like, it's like you said, it's someone way more powerful. I don't want to say who it is exactly, but it's a very powerful person. And it truly is kind of like, it feels noteworthy. Like, it feels like, damn, like, it's just a really good send-off for his character.
Yeah, and I mean, this is true for the boys, too. In a show where, spoiler alert, kind of, everybody eventually dies, except for, like, 3 people on both shows. I won't spoil who those 3 people are for each one. But in a show, in sagas where there's a lot of death, Rex's death was very notable. And that's saying a lot. Like where death happens left and right, and you like true, like I was remembering his death throughout this season, watching right now, even without like the trauma insights we got to like Adam Eve or Invincible or anything like that. Like I was thinking about Rex a lot.
And then Robot changes his name. There's just a lot of cool, like there's like the show's done a good.
Sorry, sorry, Robot. Just Robot. We'll talk about him later.
Okay. But it's cool. Like it makes me feel like it's a good death, and one that is it's cool, and it's pretty violent. He's got a cool power set. Like how he actually triggers it all, I think is really cool.
No, I mean Gambit's power set's really cool. Gambit has arguably one of the coolest moments in Avengers vs. X-Men, because at one point he tries to blow up Captain America's shield. Turns out his powers don't work on vibranium; they will bounce back at him, because that's just how vibranium works. So, Gambit, being like the smart guy that he is, he's like, I can't blow up organic material, but I can blow up Captain America's suit. And he's like, boom, got Cap, I'm the best. Cap stands up with with no shirt on basically, and it's just like, okay, Gambit, you have my attention. That was clever. I like that. Now we're gonna fight.
Another thing that's with like Rex too is, and this I think is like indicative of the show too, of just their ability to so he has this ability to he kind of uses his own rib. I feel like how does he do it again? Do you remember exactly? It's kind of a cool little way how he triggers it too. Do you remember? I can't remember how he does it, but it's cool.
So the key thing that we learn that's the difference between Rex's powers and Gambit's powers is that Rex can blow up organic material.
That's
so the first thing he does is that the person that he's fighting, I think if I remember this right, rips out a rib from him and stabs him with it, and then he takes out the stabbed rib and stabs it at him, blows him up a little bit. Doesn't kill the dude, so he's like, well, if I can blow up my own rib, what about the rest of my skeleton? And
that's what he does.
That's what he does. Yeah.
And
it works. That's a big explosion.
It is worth calling out. This is kind of what I'm talking about with the show, where it's pretty violent. It's like a pretty you're not going to see that in a lot of stuff. And
No, ever since Chaozu, we've kind of avoided the self-destruct.
yeah, I know. Oh, don't remind me.
Yeah.
Nappa just he just doesn't.
Doesn't even fucking care.
What the fuck? It's like his armor just gets lightly denigrated, and that's like it.
Yeah,
but it is worth calling out, and this is something I wanted to talk to you about the show, like the animation. Like I said, it is violent. It is not as good as Japanese animation, and like I said, like they have the ribs running out the conquest.
No,
they're just not as pretty, and I wanted to get your read on why that is.
So there's a couple reasons on that, and I do want to give a shout out to especially this last season of Invincible. They took a lot of advantage of static shots and delivered a lot of powerful monologues and exchanges through that. And I think that was a really creative way to get around the issue of American animation that makes it difficult to have balls to the wall action all the time. At the end of the day, any animation's not going to have the budget to do that without taking, 3 to 4 years to build out their animation. The reason Invincible doesn't have Jujutsu Kaisen level animation, which is kind of like the gold standard for fighting animation right now, is two reasons. One, Invincible has a very different group of actors that they pull from for voice roles that cost a lot more money than the talent pool that is the voice actor community of anime. Because that's half the issue. Because Invincible's kind of built out a brand now because it's an American animation show that you expect some of these voice cameos. Like, I genuinely believe that Seth Rogen took the role of Alan the Alien to help save money on the show that he produces. That's got to be part of it. Like, it's a name that a lot of people will recognize. I'm sure Seth Rogen was like, I'd love to do a role. And they were also like, we should do a role that'll stick around for a while to, like, save us a little bit of money on stuff. Because, like, you could have easily had Seth Rogen play one of the Guardians of the Globe in season 1, and then he gets murked. And
right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good theory, Tom.
Yeah, that's my theory on why Seth Rogen is playing Alan the Alien of all people. It's also entirely possible that when he was reading the comics, that was his favorite character, and that's why.
Sure, but I mean, you're dead right that, like, I mean, because that's, like, we've called it out, like, the voice work in the show is incredible.
It is top notch, and I will say, there's a worrying trend in American animation to avoid voice actors and just hire actors to do a voice.
Yes,
the very worst example of that is Chris Pratt as Mario in the Mario movie. Which is even more atrocious when you have Keegan-Michael Key doing a Toad voice, like who actually does voice work as an actor. Like, I don't know how that doesn't drive him crazy. That paycheck's got to be really fucking nice to be able to ignore that as an artist. Which, more power to you. But like it's. For Invincible, they do, like, whenever they're casting someone, it feels like it matches the role, and they're giving their all in these voice acting things. Like,
they do.
Chris Pratt as Mario's just doing Chris Pratt's voice, which I can hardly blame the man for that.
Yeah, I agree.
But when it comes to Invincible, everybody's giving their all, and I've seen a few of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the audio booth recordings of the actors in the scene, and they get active into it. Like, they get direction and stuff, and that's kind of an important thing for voice acting is, like, if you're delivering a line while throwing a punch in animation, it helps to deliver that punch while you're recording it because your body changes. It changes how you do things. Yeah. And that feels very prevalent throughout Invincible, and it's something that I have seen. Like, but at the same time, do we really need to hire Bobby Moynihan for 3 lines as Tech Jacket's dad?
Probably not.
Probably not. As much as I love Bobby Moynihan, and everybody should go see, or everybody should be watching the Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins just for him. Could have saved us some money. Could have had a longer fight with Thrag, maybe.
You are dead right, though, that, like, Invincible does have this weird brand where it's like, come here to watch like really cool people do voice work.
Yes.
You know, it's just a weird, you know, like it's like a unique like place in American media. Like you just don't see a lot of places where it's like we're an animated show.
Yeah.
Where
It's this and Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
right.
it. It's the only other place I really see that.
Morty didn't start with it. It was started with like just
Rick and Morty didn't start getting like big names until probably like season 3.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like they were out of the gate with Stephen Yeun, Sandra Oh, J.K. Simmons. I mean, it is kind of innovative.
Yeah, that helped solidify it as like something nicer. But like I would say the cameos didn't really start until probably like season 2 of Invincible, which is still relatively early for a show like that. But you know, at the same time, having Seth Rogen as your producer helps a lot with that because
it does. Yeah, I mean, he's such a good plug to have. He seems. I mean, as far as I can tell, he seems to be a very liked dude in the industry. Yes, I think he's just a likable guy. I mean, I think he's just like a cool. But it is another thing that you brought up, Tom. Though is interesting, where it's like, you do bring up it because the voice work is amazing, but. We watch a lot of Japanese anime. We've seen great. I mean, those voice guys and women all do great work too. You know what I'm saying? Like they're out. I don't even know the language, and I'm like, dude, this is. I always watch it on subtitles, not dubs, they're so emotive. It's like really compelling, even though I don't know the language.
Yeah, when it comes to like the anime pool of people, it's unmatched. Like. Christopher Sabat alone has delivered some of the greatest roles of all time, and like he doesn't. I mean, he changes, and they're all very different voices, but they're also still all the same voice. What he does is truly incredible shit.
Yes,
it's the difference. So like at worst on Invincible, you'll have like someone that's like a probably like a okay performance, like a cameo of some sort. Usually people would be good. You get a few grades with like J.K. Simmons and Sandra Oh. But then you go to like Jujutsu Kaisen or even something like Black Clover, and the voice acting on that is good to great across the board.
Right. And then, but it's like if you could make it more economically viable to have some, like these great voice actors who don't command. I mean, J.K. Simmons alone, his voice, what they have to pay him to do his voice work is probably what they pay everyone on JJK. Literally, right? It has to be.
Well, that's actually reason number 2 on why American animation doesn't do as much as Japanese animation. Pay is a big part of it.
Okay.
So I gotta make sure I'm remembering this right. I do think that so outside of like Mappa and A1, whatever animation studio you're using is usually paying its animators less than $2 an hour. And that's okay.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because they don't get animated in Japan. Mappa might not be part of this. Mappa might be part of the problem. I can't remember whether they are. I think A1 and Wit is doing the new One Piece edit for Netflix. I think they're okay, and I think A1 is okay. Mappa might be okay. But yeah, they usually do this animation in like Thailand or something for dirt cheap. Invincible doesn't do that. They still don't pay super great, and they're still on super tight budgets because it's America and stuff, but it is technically like not as good. Or technically not great.
They're working these people to the bone.
Animators are the most abused people in the entertainment industry right now, without a doubt.
Wow. I mean, I will say the stuff. So, are you saying that there's an element of like it's just like American, like the?
Yeah,
I wasn't understanding. Like, okay, so are you saying that like in America they're just not willing to, like, they're
at the end of the day, America's not willing to pay for good animation. Period. If they're going to start cutting the budget, they're going to start cutting animation first.
I see what you're saying. Okay, gotcha. Which you do feel. I mean, like, it just doesn't. It's just like if you just have watched Japanese animation, like it is so much more dynamic, colorful. It's amazing. Like it really is like stunning to watch. Where like this just doesn't have that level of like pop, you know.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, well that's really telling, Tom. Because I've always wondered like why we just don't have what, you know, like obviously said JJK, but Demon Slayer has some great stuff. And each anime, I will say too, what's really amazing about it is they have this sort of like, I want to say almost like each anime has its own like kind of aesthetic, how the people move. Like JJK looks a lot different than Attack on Titan, which looks a lot different than Demon Slayer, which, you know, like they all have this like really impressive sort of like look to the show. And, you know, like, whereas like Invincible definitely has like an aesthetic that you've seen in some capacity before. You know, like it just doesn't look as like striking as
Invincible. You know, as much as I love it, it does. The animation style does look like an HD version of Avatar.
Totally, 100%. Yes, like I couldn't agree more with that. Yep, and it's like it's kind of like that. It's not a washed out color palette, but it's a pretty like like a lighter tones, and like the movement isn't super fluid. Like it's a little kind of like, you know. Yeah,
it's a lot choppier. That, and a lot of that has to do with, you know, cheaper animation, shorter time schedules, budget, and all that type of crap.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. JJK has 160K per episode versus 2.5 million for Invincible.
Say that again.
So on a per episode budget, Invincible has $2.5 million per episode.
Okay, 2.5.
Jujutsu Kaisen has 160K.
That is unbelievable.
So that unfortunately does tell me that MAPPA is part of the problem, and they're using the cheap-ass animation. But
yes,
they're still highly specialized studios that focus solely on this in super pressure environments, which are, you know, not good and terrible in so many different ways. But sometimes abuse creates great art, and that's just an unfortunate fact of life.
It really is. I mean, Tom, you are dead right. It's like one of those weird. I call them Russian short story truths. Like it was like, you know,
that's
you're like Family Guy when it's like Russian cartoons. The shoe is used worthless without the shoelace. The end. You know. That's kind of like great art, Ellenco, but
the fucking overcoat. Yeah, I remember that fucking story. Goddamn.
Yeah, but anyway, okay, well that's really telling because I never knew, and that makes a lot of sense, and is interesting, very interesting. Well, Tom, should we get into the combine?
Yep, let's get into the combine. Let's get into the fun part here.
Combine, okay, for a draft that we're not sure is ever going to come.
Yep, For the future superhero / comic book character / nerdy group draft that will eventually someday do. Could be years down the line. Could be a couple weeks from now. Who fucking knows?
Feel free to use our comps though, baby.
These are all official comps. This is not us. This is no longer us just talking smack. We are now officially using stats and shit.
Yes, we're on it now. Like we're grinding tape, Billy. You'd be proud.
We're grinding tape, Billy. We're worse than Billy Buckets right now.
We're grinding that tape. So yeah, essentially we're going to do a combine type approach. We're going to be ranking these people, their variety of different skills, kind of like their voice. You know, for Invincible, we're looking at their voice acting, look at their power set, and just kind of talk about like if you're rounding out a team, why these people are valuable. And we'll be doing, I think, 2 each, right? 2 from each episode, Tom.
Yeah, 2 from each show. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so let's start with you first.
Oh, you want to start with me first? Okay. So I'll start with. I'm going to start with Nolan today.
Okay.
From Invincible. Nolan, also known as Omni-Man, is Mark's dad on Invincible. He is a full-blooded Viltrumite. He is several thousand years old. He has got speed and strength, arguably comparable to Superman, depending on what era of Superman you're talking about. A fun little side fact: he once fought another Superman pastiche from Image Comics called Supreme to a standstill, which was a fun little crossover that they did. we'll do an Image episode in the future to talk about Invincible more someday, because the comics make it so much crazier. Hold on, let me pull up the Notion note.
I can't. Oh, I can't wait to see. Okay, I'm looking at your Nolan notes right now.
Yeah. Okay. So we are dividing up how we're talking about the Invincible characters, both by their performance and their power set. And we'll do something similar for the boys. So I was looking through my stats for Nolan for his voice acting matrix. I gave him a vocal identity of 3. And I think that for what... It's twofold. One, Nolan hasn't had to display a whole lot of emotions yet in the series. Season 4 was a big step forward for him. Like that took him from a 2 to a 3, in my opinion. Yeah. Because before he was mostly either nervous because people were going to find out that he was a traitor to Earth or Viltrum, or he was angry. Those were basically his 2 emotions. This season, we get a lot more remorse, we get a lot more guilt, we get a lot more shame, and now he's actually atoning for those things. He kind of alluded to these feelings before in previous seasons on Thraxa and while in jail, but this is the first time we actually see him really acting out on these things, and most importantly, in my opinion, making amends with Debbie, who
really dirty.
Debbie is his ex-wife now on the show, Mark's mom. She's been given a lot more to do on the show versus what she had in the comic, which I love, especially with the fact that they casted Sandra Oh to be her voice actress. I gotta say, when it comes to like the early seasons of Grey's Anatomy, those hit kind of hard. That's some pretty good fucking TV.
You're talking to Leslie's favorite TV show of all time.
Oh yeah, when Derek Shepherd dies, you should just stop watching the show. But everything from the beginning to the end is some high quality TV.
Leslie loves it. I mean, she could talk about it that's a staple of her life.
Oh, that's fun.
Anyway, yeah. So you said Vickle. I agree. The thing that I really liked about Nolan is I think it's interesting you gave him total score. So it's 1 to 5 across physicality, character, voice. You gave him a 5 on physicality, which I thought was interesting.
What
did you think about physicality?
The physicality for that one, I'm giving at. So I did want to explain that one. That's because one of the videos I've seen of people like in the voice booth, like I saw J.K. Simmons doing the think mark. And he had his veins popping. I was worried about that old man for a hot second there. Like, he was screaming into that microphone.
He's committed to the bit.
He committed to the bit. He's full on, like, acting as if it's his role and stuff. I do think for Invincible, a little bit, they may try to, like... I know they do the animation usually before the voice acting. Or maybe they do it differently now. I'm not really sure, but... I know that they are at least matching some of the animation to the expressions that they're giving, which is a big part of what makes Invincible great. They're not quite doing rotoscoping like in the old Lord of the Rings animated movies, but there's some actual physicality to this. That's also why I gave him a 5 for character voice to symmetry, because
I do think is crazy. I think his character voice, like, he just is so, like, his baritone and, like, there's such, like, an intimidation to his voice is literally threatening. It sounds...
At all times. Like, even when he's being nice, you're still scared.
Yes. So that's why I really feel like I honestly feel like when they were making the show, they started there, like I said, J.K. Simmons, he's Nolan, and then, like, that, you just start there. And then you just can go
So, fun fact, they called J.K. Simmons for a different role. They called him for Cecil, apparently.
Did they really?
Yeah, I just saw Robert Kirkman just did a podcast with those the guys that do the nerdy podcast. If you've ever seen the dude crash out on Last Jedi, because the guy's inconsistent in his take on it, if you've ever seen the dude where he's like, "Who cares? You do. You just said." If you've ever seen that clip, it's that group. It's those two guys. They're very funny. I disagree with most of their takes, but they can be very funny at times. Yeah, they're clear. I don't know exactly what age they are, but they're clearly like early 20s dudes that are like, at least one of the dudes, he's just brain dead takes on a lot of stuff. But they had Robert Kirkman on because they've gotten a big enough following, and they asked him, like, so did you consider J.K. Simmons for anybody else? And he's like, I don't know if I want to get into it or whatever. And they're like, well, because I was thinking, like, he'd make a good Cecil, and then, like, Robert Kirkman spits up his coffee, and he's just like,
no.
He may have been called for that. Maybe. I don't. For Cecil. Cecil would have been a good one for J.K. Simmons, but he's so much better as Omni-Man.
Yeah, I agree, because I think of it as, like, the exercise I do is, like, okay, if you flipped him, Walter Goggins is
he can't be Omni-Man.
Would not work as
No, that doesn't work. That doesn't work at all.
I could definitely see why you make the J.K. Simmons the Cecil thing, but...
Because I could see Nolan, I could see, like, a Kurt Russell doing Nolan.
Oh, yep, agreed. That's a good call.
Like, that would be an interesting... Because that's a meta level as well of having, like, an old-school action star to play, like, that type of role.
Yeah, that could work as well. But, yeah, I mean, I just think his voice work is, second. I mean, yeah. And I think he's probably, of everyone, I think he's my favorite voice acting performer, except maybe for Sandra Oh. I think I'm going those two.
I picked him because of the Combine thing. I get to talk about his powers and stuff. I was going to pick Debbie, but I figured picking him would do a lot to talk about Debbie as well.
Yeah, I mean,
because I get to talk about his emotional range too, and that one again, it went from a 3 to a 4 this season because he finally got to express more emotions. I said something wrong about vocal identity. I should have mentioned that, like, it's still very clearly J.K. Simmons, but I feel like that works for this role.
I know I agree. It is weird where it's like, I get what you're going with that. It does. But that's like what you're saying is the show was almost like branded as this, like, we're going to take big name actors and have them do voice work. It was kind of a weird, so it's like, it almost, you don't want this, like, distinct vocal identity because those shows, like, this is J.K. Simmons. He's doing you know what I'm saying? Like, it wouldn't work. You're not going to pay all that money to then have J.K. Simmons do some weird voice where you don't recognize it's him, Yes.
Yeah, which it's the same with the Mario movie. Like, when you hired Chris Pratt, you're not going to expect him to really go, "It's me, Mario." Because why are you paying Chris Pratt money to do that when you could pay an actual voice actor half that and get a better voice?
And I mean, serious. But on the now, so Nolan's obviously a first round pick for sure.
He's clearly a big first round pick. Any Superman pastiche is an early first round pick, in my opinion, when it comes to a draft like this.
There's no.
Speed, strength, durability, all 5s. Intellect, I gave him a 3 because he's not super smart, but he is tactically smart enough to realize, like, because here's the thing about Nolan. He's smart enough to know when to retreat and stuff. Like, he's a good leader for the group. No,
he was, and like he has some stuff going on. Like I agree. Like, I think a 3 is dead right for me. Great. Cause, you can build a team around him. He just might murder your entire team.
No.
So just.
Yeah, he could fuck up very easily, and he has several times. Like, his early adventures in the season with Alan trying to get all the, like, Viltrumite killing stuff did not go super great.
It didn't. Yeah,
part of that was because of the very funny Patrick Stewart ripoff that they had. I would have paid. Man, if I was Seth Rogen, I would have thrown so much money at Patrick Stewart to do that role just to fully commit to the bit.
I know,
because Patrick Stewart can play that funny role really well. Because
he's hilarious.
American Dad, very underrated. Like American Dad's got some funny fucking shit in there.
I have never watched an American Dad episode from start to finish, but I know that Bennett's a secret American Dad guy too. I know.
Yeah, Chris is a big one. I remember Chris has watched like all of it.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so Nolan, great pick. Love him. I can't really disagree with any of this. This is a top on the board pick for me. I'm going to go in another direction on my Combine selection here, a guy I've been scouting. This is a late round guy. You know,
I like this one. This is a sleeper pick.
You're not going to be rounding out your team. This is a round out your team guy. He's a role player. You know, this is Machine Head. So for Machine Head, voiced by Jeffrey Donovan of Burn Notice. Ian, you'll know Burn Notice.
Love some Burn Notice.
I love Jeffrey Donovan. I think he's pretty much great in everything. And the cool thing about Machine Head that I really like from the voice side, so I gave his voice acting, I gave a 5 on vocal identity, 4 on emotional range, 3 on character to voice symmetry, and a 4 on the physicality, which is all pretty high. Looking back, got a little. I'm going to change his emotional range to a 3. But overall, I want to talk about. It's cool that they've used. So he's a literal machine head. He's got a robot as he's like. Is he a human body on a machine head? Is that his thing?
So he's basically like a cyborg at this point. Okay, I'm pretty sure he starts off as just a dude with a helmet, but the helmet becomes kind of like a part of him.
Yes. So he's literally just a guy with a literal robot head. He's got a cool little head. It looks like a little like computer chip on his head.
It looks like Daft Punk.
Yeah, it looks a lot. Yeah, great call. It looks just like Daft Punk. But the cool thing about his voice work is they auto-tune it. So it'll kind of like he'll be talking in normal voice, and then it will, especially in moments of like major emotion, it'll go like it'll auto-tune.
Yeah.
And it's just a cool little. I've never seen auto-tune used in that way before, and I thought that was a cool idea around like we're going to take like a functionally, a robot-ish character and use auto-tune in that way. Like usually you have robots talk like this, and I will be.
Yeah,
it's like
very monotone, which we'll get to in a second.
It's more like expressive in like but it had that auto-tune layers of robot. I really like it. I wish more. There's so much like cyborg stuff out there, cyborg robot stuff. I think more people need to make use of that little trick that they did. I thought it was really cool.
Yeah. I'd compare him to, I guess, Brendan Fraser on Doom Patrol. He doesn't have the cool, like, auto-tune moments that they give Jeffrey Donovan in this, but at least Brendan Fraser gets to, like, he's not just a monotone robot voice as the robot in Doom Patrol. Like, he does get to, like, go up and down and stuff, which is kind of cool. And I do like that, like, a lot of the auto-tune moments kind of, they inflect when he like raises his voice and stuff like that. Like it almost seems like a design flaw in the thing when he gets emotional and stuff. Like
that's a good point. It almost sounds like a voice crack. Almost.
Yeah,
it's cool. They use it in a really cool way. Now the thing about Machine Head, if you're looking to draft him, he's not really bringing a lot to the table. And he's, I don't think I gave him a 2 for strength, 2 for speed.
No, he's not a bruiser in any way, shape, or form, or a gadget guy.
5 for intellect. But the other thing that we didn't have in the power section is he kind of needs to be the alpha, so he's functionally going to have to be kind of like your brainiac.
Yeah.
Like the guy
he's a brainy leader. He's almost like he's not as smart as Tony Stark, but he's a Tony Stark type of leader.
Right.
Where he's scheming and coming up with plans for the whole group. He can't just be like a backseat dude for it.
Right, and that's the problem where it's like, if I'm getting this guy in a late round, is he going to accept like a part-time role? Or like, can you be a role player, Machine Head? That's what I need you to be.
Yeah, because Tony Stark can work great as a support player as well and be super smart. He doesn't have to be a leader, and that's what you would want Machine Head to do.
Right. Like, I don't know if I feel great about Machine Head as my leader, which is what he wants to be. But if I could get Machine Head just like running the calculations, like letting someone else be my leader, but he's kind of in the background formulating the plans, like that's good value if you can get Machine Head to get on that.
He's a great super flex pick, but you don't want him to be your QB1.
Exactly, Tom. Exactly. You're hoping a lot from your super flex here.
Yeah.
But could really bear fruit. So.
He could be a great asset.
Too.
Jeffrey Donovan is just fucking fantastic.
Amazing actor. Amazing career, amazing actor. Love him to death.
Yeah.
Okay, so who's your next guy?
So my next guy is a very similar type of role here.
It's funny how we both ended up like this.
Yeah. No, this guy I'm talking about because, in particular, he's going to be very important in later seasons of the show.
Oh, nice.
Yes. That's why I was starting to freak out when you talked about him changing his name. So the guy I'm talking about today is Rex/Robot. He was originally named Rudy. Robot is sort of a teenage Iron Man. He's very much the whole like teenage group of superheroes in Invincible are kind of ripped off of Marvel characters / the Avengers. Robot is a super highly intelligent human with a robot suit of armor that he uses to create a bunch of drones. But originally, he is a very malformed baby that would basically die if exposed to regular oxygen and stuff.
Yeah.
He spends his whole life kind of in like a big giant test tube for a while and starts building robots to help the world and take advantage of his intellect. Then eventually clones himself using Rexplode, which is a whole other can of worms. It's weird. It's a weird move.
Like that.
Yeah,
it's a weird thing.
We learn a little bit more down the line that like Robot doesn't exactly relate to humans the same way the rest of us with empathy do. He's a weird one. But part of that comes with having such an advanced intellect and stuff. Like, there's a ton of, again, not to just keep harping on Iron Man, but there's a ton of Iron Man stories where Tony straight up says, like, I know I do all this good with the Avengers and stuff, but that's only because I know logically that it's good, but I also know that logically I could do a lot of really good stuff if I ignored everybody else and just did whatever I wanted and ignored ethics and what people wanted and stuff like that. And he wrestles with that every day with should I just, I could become president of the United States overnight if I wanted to and have everybody love me while I'm doing it, honestly, and is it right for me to do it that way?
Correct. And like Robot definitely struggles with that. So I was interested you picked him because I think his voice performance is good, or were you more just interested in the character itself?
I'm more interested in the character himself, but I do enjoy a lot of what the voice actor has been doing with Robot so far, because it's very clear that he knows where Robot's going. And he's yeah, it's kind of like telling Alan Rickman what always means during the first Harry Potter movie. Like, knowing where that goes, you kind of inform your performance a little more.
Gotcha.
So I've seen a lot of things that like hint to that type of stuff, but a big thing for me is that he's been able to carve out more of a vocal identity on the show than almost anybody else, despite having that monotone voice. When he's able to switch back to Rex and stuff, I think he does a really good job of that.
It's a good point. I hadn't thought of it, but you are right about that. I do find it interesting where, like you said, like there are moments, because I'm thinking about his relationship with Monster Girl. Like there are moments where you can really like feel him being like, I'm really like the vulnerability of like, I'm trying here.
No, I think the Monster Girl's the best example. Like, he tries to cure her condition without asking her if she wants to be cured or whatever. And that's like, he's like, I know that would make sense, that you would be happier without it and things would be easier, but she's like, but then I can't help people. And yeah.
Yes. And I think that's the voice work that he's done a really good job. Also, he's got an interesting power set too. Like he's a pretty strong guy. Like
he is. Like his for Rudy himself, or Rex himself, is basically just a normal human, but this is a guy that's like, it's almost like he's read Iron Man comics and he's like, why doesn't he just come in with an army of drones every single fucking time? And that's exactly what he does. And he gets a durability of 5 for that, because he's just like, hey, did I kill the right one? Nope. Okay, I just got to keep plowing through all these other robots.
Drones are great.
Drones are useful.
They're really useful.
Yeah.
He's really pretty strong. The other thing that's nice about Robot too is he started as like in an ancillary role, took a leadership role. I actually think his leadership run was pretty solid. I think he kind of got dealt a shit hand. I still trust him in a leadership capacity. Oh no, man, you don't. Oh God, I don't like these voices. Oh no,
I'm trying really hard.
Oh,
really hard here, man.
No,
Robot makes some choices. You need to remember what just happened to Robot 2. So he got stranded in the Flaxen dimension.
Yes.
Remember that the Flaxen dimension time moves different.
Oh fuck me, I know. Oh no. Oh my boy, I'm nervous. I don't want to talk about Robot anymore. It's good value.
It's good value. He's a great pick. He's a good like say like a good 4th-round pick. He's a guy that you
Yes.
would want as like your QB1. He's a great one to get late if you're not in a
Yes.
super flex league too, because
Yep.
a lot of people would sleep on him.
I agree with that. Like he's good. Like he could be that classic, like RB2 or a wide receiver 2 who ends up being the best player on your team. Like there's real world where that happens. He's got a lot of, but oh boy,
He just needs a nice moral balance to add to him. That's all.
oh
Just
boy.
needs someone to remind him that people are
Needs a Mark-
things.
He needs a Mark Grayson.
He needs a Mark Grayson. That's exactly. Yeah, no, he needs a Mark Grayson.
Okay, well that's good for anyone building out a team. Keep that in mind. Sounds like he's about to fuck some shit up. I'm a little nervous now.
Yeah, keep an eye on Ruby or Rex or whatever.
So my next guy, my Superman pastiche. I don't want to talk about his power set too much because he's fundamentally more powerful than he's the most powerful guy in the show. He's also got powered up, right? He wasn't as powerful in the comic, right, Tom?
Okay, I want to double check on this. You're talking about Thrag?
Yeah.
Okay, because you put your notes under Thetis.
Oh shit, you're right. Yeah,
No, you're fine. They're both the 2 most powerful Viltrumites because they're the oldest. But yes, Thrag.
Right.
My boy
Thrag.
Thrag. I'm excited to talk Thrag.
So like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on his power set. Again, he's the strongest guy in the show.
No, he's got all the same powers as Nolan, but he's like 1,000 years older. And when it comes to Viltrumites, the older you are, the stronger you are.
Right. So he's super strong. Pretty much, this is a first rounder. This is your first overall pick.
This is a first overaller.
This is Josh Allen. Is who we're talking about here. I wanted to talk about his voice. Like, you're getting good value on the voice side of the house, though, because I actually thought he was doing John Malkovich. I texted you. I was like, I didn't even look it up because he just sounds so much like John Malkovich in this. There's such he's like the Grand Regent of. So he's essentially they call him Grand Regent, but he's just functionally the king,
The Emperor. Yeah,
the Emperor King. Would use whatever yours. I do like Grand Regent as a term.
it's a good.
He has this real regality in his performance that I really like. Like he sounds like really above it all and commanding and authoritative and honestly just
he sounds
really
like
royal.
Hamlet. That's what I've always noticed. Like he's giving. It sounds like Lee Pace is just doing Hamlet quotes, even though I know that. Yeah.
Yes. So I like I think the physicality is good. The character to voice symmetry I think is really good. Where I did ding him is the emotional range. Like he hasn't given me a ton yet. He's kind of stayed in the same sort of I'm above it all sort of thing.
At this point in the story, that's a good thing, I'd say. Like if anything, I'd give him a 2 right now for emotional range. But if provided everything pans out the way it is, that would bump up to a 4 almost.
Oh, so he's got some stuff going on.
He's going to have some stuff happen.
Interesting.
What were you gonna say? Well, no, so Thrag doesn't always make the best decisions.
Really?
He just he thinks he thinks he just won, but he did not win.
Oh, So for folks who don't know, Thrag is essentially argued for a detente with Earth, where he's like, hey, we're going to chill here, rebuild our population because it's nearly at 0, and we just won't tear through your entire planet. That's kind of the world he's in right now.
Yep. So there's 40 some odd Viltrumites just chilling on Earth that could rip it in half at any given moment. Any one of them, really.
Truly.
And they are secretly hiding out on Earth, just fucking their way, or their mission is to just fuck as much as they can and make as many Viltrumites as they can. And, that's the plan.
Oh, boy. Man, there's some shit coming up. But
there's one Viltrumite in particular who gets dragged on all the time, and he's going to get dragged on even more in upcoming seasons, and I can't fucking wait for it. It's going to be so funny.
I can't wait for it either. But I will say, Thrag, new introduced in the season 4, really liked it. So you said Ronan Pace, who's the voice actor, you said he's done this before on another.
The voice that Lee Pace is doing for Thrag is very similar to the voice that he did for Ronan in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
But I would say there's a subtle difference there that you pointed out, where there's more regality in Thrag, whereas Ronan was kind of more of a religious fanatic. Those are 2 very similar roles. and that
Sure.
difference is very subtle, but I do think that there is a difference there.
Okay, interesting. Well, that's he's my like so I have my one guy you could build a team around. You can build a team around Thrag. Sounds like his decision making might get a little sketchier here in late seasons, but and then I have my machine.
Also, when you live for thousands of years, you can make a few mistakes.
That's true. That's true. I make a few mistakes every couple days, so I know that life. Okay, so let's go to the boys now.
Yeah.
I'll start this time with the boys.
Okay.
On this,
I like you to start with that one. Yeah.
So,
because we have very different ones for the boys.
Yes, we do. So I'm going to start with my girl Sage.
Sister Sage. What a name.
What was that?
What a name, Sister Sage.
Sister Sage, like great name. Just pretty much, I always like these characters in the show. They kind of get like plot armor, but her role is just being the smartest person on the planet, right? Like she's like the chess master here.
She almost has a gag power. Like doesn't matter what, no matter what your plan is or what you're thinking, she's already worked around it.
Right. Yeah, that's her whole power. So she's been good character. Again, like what I like about Sage is she's very comfortable just laying in the cut. You know, she doesn't have to be out and about. In fact, she prefers to be like kind of behind the scenes. I think that's why she pairs so well with Homelander. Again, no speed, no strength, no durability, but paired with the right sort of team, she can really be like the most valuable player on your team and lead your team to success. And I like the actress as well for Sister Sage. I think she does a good job. You've seen people play the genius before. Like it's not a particularly but I like Susan Hayward's. She has this sort of like almost like stoner chick vibe to it, which I kind of like. Like she's it's not so like. It
almost feels so. I would be shocked if this wasn't part of the influence for her, but taking kind of like the trope of the magical wise African American, and turning it, and then like also mixing it with like the stoner aspect of it, and you see that with like her lobotomizing herself and stuff, because like weed and cocaine and heroin are not going to work on her, so she's super smart. She knows if I got to alter my brain chemistry in some way, there's ways to do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that aspect to her character a lot. And again, I just like this interpretation of like being the smartest person in the room. It's not as like sometimes you'll have they'll go like the super like they'll do the Jesse Eisenberg and Lex Luthor, like the really frenetic. Like I don't like that usually as much. I prefer like this strikes me more like Ex Machina with Oscar Isaac, where it's like I'm more like where I'm just chill.
This is
like,
more of what I see smart people as, to be honest.
That's
especially in particular in the latest episode where her whole motivation is like she just wants to be left alone and read. That's every super smart person at the end of the day, that's all they really want to do.
Yeah, they just want to sit and read, and I agree. Like there's just like I like this one. You didn't watch the Aliens like TV show on FX, but they had another like genius character who felt a lot more like the Jesse Eisenberg, and I've just found that to be the like frenetic, like doing weird stuff. I've never been as big a fan of, so I like her interpretation of it more. And again, I think really good. I wouldn't be hateful if you put a first round pick on her. I don't think I would put a first-round pick on her, but if you could get her in the second or third round, that's good value.
Yeah, that's really good value in the second or third round. She'd be a good late first-round pick, I'd say.
Yeah,
if you look at and especially like if you were planning on going for like a smart leader first, and someone already takes, a Reed Richards type, and you're kind of she's a great backup to something like that.
Agreed, great backup to that, and again, like you said, or if you think there's a lot of value for like your super athletic, powerful people in rounds 2, and you're like, you got to pair her with someone powerful, and you got to pair her with someone who, again, I don't think she wants to be the leader, so you have to keep that in mind if you're building out a roster, but great.
Or at least someone who's comfortable being the figurehead.
Yes, well said. Great point. Figurehead is the right word.
Yeah, she'd be good with Thor, because Thor would also be like, yeah, she just like, hey, you're going to tell me what to do? Great. Tell me where to throw the hammer. I like that. I like that helps.
I agree.
And you're not going to turn into a snake and try to freak me out? Perfect. So much better than my brother.
Amen. Okay, so that's Sister Sage for me.
That's
Great
Sister
performance.
Sage. Yeah, I'm gonna go into our main villain for the boys, Homelander.
Got to.
Now I've
You
got
gotta.
some thoughts on Homelander. Homelander in the comics is portrayed, and I guess he kind of is portrayed in the show like this as well, as kind of like at the first kind of benevolent, or at least trying to be a good person, and then slowly devolves into the hedonistic psychopath that we all love to hate.
Yep.
I feel like the
You're
show
right.
kind of fast forwards that a little bit, and a big difference is that in the comics, this isn't a spoiler that'll affect anybody because this can't happen anymore. We find out that Black Noir is actually a clone of Homelander, and
Yep.
a lot of the horrible shit that Homelander had done, including raping Butcher's wife, blowing up a plane full of kids, that was all Black Noir dressed up as Homelander.
Kind of wild. Yeah.
Which is it's just a weird thing, and I'm really glad that the show is not doing that and going for just a much more streamlined type of villain. But Homelander, at the end of the day, he's still a super strong type of character, and the show really pumps him up. He's not as strong as, any of the characters on, like, Invincible,
No.
but he's a menace. He's a threat. And
In a second half.
as a Superman pastiche, he is not as strong as Faster Superman in any way, shape, or form, but it is confirmed that his heat vision is at least comparable to Superman's. Which is that's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
Yeah. Very nice.
It's a good one to have. And he uses it effectively.
Yes.
Uses it to great effect.
And I'm saying all of this to say that the original comics Homelander would have been absolutely fucking bodied by Peter Parker in every given scenario.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Spider-Man was definitely stronger than comics Homelander. Comics Homelander is probably about as strong as, like, movies Captain America.
Oh, whoa. Okay.
Which,
Damn, they did.
here's the thing. Captain America's pulling his punches. If Captain America really wanted to cave a dude's chest in, he could cave a dude's fucking chest in.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Especially in the movies. I mean, he's pulling a helicopter one-handed. Like, he can knock a dude's head off with no effort. And Spider-Man, we know, is constantly holding back.
They do the whole like Marvel thing and how they've like nerfed certain people. Like the Hulk is a good example. Like they've kind of nerfed. It's tough. Like the nerd. Like it is, and this is what I think. Like I like about like the boys is because they didn't have to. Like they don't feel like. I just feel like the Hulk got done so dirty in Marvel movies in terms of his power set, and it's like, but they kind of have to do it. I think I don't know. Like, what do you think about like that?
When it comes to like the Marvel, they moved everybody closer together. They like ramped up Captain America and kind of like Black Widow and Hawkeye too, to an extent, to pull them kind of closer to like their ultimate counterparts, and then pulled like Thor and Hulk down a little bit to get them to get everybody around Iron Man level, I would say. And whether that's a consequence of that being the first movie that took off or what, but like it does kind of suck as a whole, because now we have a thing that I don't know that the thing that we have right now would actually work up against the Hulk, because he seems kind of nerfed too, just like everybody else that's been going on. So
I know.
It lends itself to future problems.
It does. I agree with that. And this is kind of like, but it is interesting to hear about Homelander. But in this, what I like about like the boys, which like you're saying, as opposed to Marvel, is like Marvel, like you said, they've decided to make things very close. You know, where I like where the boys, where it's like, well, Homelander's just the strongest, and like that is like what that does.
There's like 3 tiers when it comes to the boys. There's Homelander and Soldier Boy and like a couple other people maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
There's all the other soups. Then there's humans.
Yes.
And that tier, like, there should be like 8 or 9 tiers in between those first 2 tiers and humans, because every soup is able to just rip apart a human like tissue paper.
Yeah, So it is, and they do too.
It happens quite a bit. Like, this is not us speculating.
No, yeah. So I think that's what's like I like about the show, like the power tiering, and again, like you said, Marvel, I do think has kind of backed themselves into an interesting kind of corner with how they've chosen to do that sort of stuff. Again, I can understand why, but great performance by Anthony Starr too.
Yes, and something I wanted to point out for the boys' characters in particular, it's hard to play a despicable character like that. Anthony Starr is actually a very lovely man.
Yeah,
he's a super good dude.
Yeah, you're right, and Joffrey Baratheon, that voice, he kind of stopped acting. He's like,
Domhnall Gleeson stopped for a long time. I think he just did a movie recently. Finally.
Did he really?
I think he did. Good for him, and I love that for him. I love that he still enjoys it, and we'll come back to it. But he was so successful at his role that he got actual death threats and shit from strangers on the internet because they hated Joffrey so much, and
people hate.
That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to make you hate Joffrey, and I hate Homelander a lot. And
I do too. I mean, he does great work, and he's continued to kind of find ways to make him more despicable, more pathetic, more desperate.
Even when we get his backstory, I don't feel bad for him.
I know, and it's it's giving you an understanding of why he is the way he is, but in no way are you like, okay, I like you now. You know? It's more. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know what you do with a Homelander on your team. You gotta be really careful with him. I don't really know.
So his big issue there, I put into I think I put that at a 2 or a 1 or something, because his big issue is that he's got all the mental illnesses. He's got all.
Yeah,
he's got all of them. Every single one. And when you're raised as a kid and you get thrown into a furnace every other day to just see what the highest temperature is you can take, yeah, you're gonna have some issues.
You're gonna come out a little fucked up.
You're gonna come out just a little fucked up.
But he's great performer. Love him to death. Good plays.
Anthony Starr. Thank you for bringing this incredible villain to life. It's any story I think is always really defined by the villain, and Anthony Starr has really done a great job with this.
Agreed with that, and I do think that and this is we said this already. Him and Butcher we haven't said enough about Carl Urban. Does a great job as Billy the Butcher, and they're just good juxtapositions of one another, and they're how they've kind of touched in and out, and it's good. They have a nice
their path is crisscrossed a lot.
Yes, it really has. It's
especially in the first 2 to 3 seasons, I guess. Maybe not so much the third. Well, I guess the third season Butcher does get really dark.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, and to a point where, and even Homelander is kind of almost seen in a good light at one point, because I think that's when we get a lot of his backstory. So you do at times think that Butcher is worse than Homelander. There's only one good character on this show, and I think in my opinion, well, I guess there's 2. I guess I'll say 2. And one of them is the guy that you're about to talk about right now.
Our dude, Frenchie.
I love Frenchie.
So Frenchie, man, so Frenchie, for those who don't know, he's probably had would you say the best arc on the show?
Yes. I would say the best arc on the show without a doubt. And that's why he's just now becoming one of the good characters on the show.
Yes. He's been kind of this despicable character for a really long time.
And for good reason. He's a CIA, he's a chemist, so he poisons a lot of people and shit like that. And
was a drug addict.
He was a drug addict to cope with the fact that he was, killing a bunch of people and stuff. He's probably got the most understandable arc of anybody on the show.
Yeah, and he kind of just starts off as sort of this just kind of this little rogue agent, just kind of a little creature of the night, just kind of just doing whatever. And
not all that different than a lot of the soups we see, to be honest.
Yeah, truly, yeah, that's true. And he's really gone on this journey. He enters in a relationship with Kimiko, and he kind of finds his soul along the way. And is now really trying to it's a lot of I'm always a sucker for this plot line of I've done some bad stuff in my past, and can I ever really atone for it? What does atonement even look like for someone like that? He wrestles with that really sincerely, and is still kind of wrestling with it. And he's just powerful. He can build bombs. He's building the vaccine to he's just a really useful. He knows a lot of shit,
Yeah, in the comics, he's the only dude without powers.
Oh, MM?
MM has powers. MM was not born a soup, though. His mom was born a soup. And his name is very important.
Is this going to come in the...
No.
This?
No.
Okay.
If they were going to do it, they would have done it by now.
Okay.
Mother's milk's mother is a soup. her power is to have to produce basically steroid breast milk.
No shit.
And that's how has powers. Because he's a grown-ass man that still breastfeeds.
No fucking way. Are you serious?
Dead fucking serious.
Wow. I'm glad you cut that out. Holy shit.
And to make things worse,
oh god,
Mother's Milk's mom does not have normal-ass boobs.
What?
They're like 30 feet long pythons for some reason. I don't understand. I don't know why. Garth Ennis has got something very, very fucking wrong with him. And I hope he gets the help he needs or already has.
Holy shit. Okay.
It's fucked. It's... dude, I'm telling you, the comic of The Boys is way more fucked than the show. The show is pretty fucked.
Really, like, tuned it down. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's just bad. Like, that was one of the things that I, like... I had to, like, look up a comic panel to make sure that what I was reading was correct.
Jesus, dude. That's kind of... Yeah, that feels a little, like...
Yeah, and we learn about it because Huey walks in at the wrong time.
And he's... Oh, my God. Okay. Well, I didn't know that about MM.
Yeah.
But I will say, like... So does that just make MM really strong, then? He's just, like, super strong?
In the show, they just make him, like, peak human conditioning, basically. So he essentially, like, comics version of Captain America.
Gotcha. Okay. But yeah, like I said, Frenchie's been... I also just like his accent. I don't understand.
He does a very good job with that French accent.
Is he actually French?
I think so. I think he's actually French.
Okay, he does a great job. I really like it. And I think it's good French representation. They always get represented as little wussies, so it's nice to see like a French guy.
He's in no way, shape, or form like running. He is not immediately going to surrender to the Germans. He is going. He is going to blow those Germans the fuck up.
Totally. Is Frenchie in the comics also a little guy, or is that just
kinda? He's not super big. The big thing about him being Frenchie and Butcher being British, and then is an American.
No.
They do at one point. So when they kill Stormfront, they team up with the Russian dude with the big dick.
Yep.
And that kind of serves as a like an allegory for the Allied powers.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So that's why Frenchie's French, and that's why Butcher's British, is to kind of build on that dynamic.
Yeah. Like I said, Frenchie, favorite character in the show, probably. Just love him. And, like I said, this is a really, like, Frenchie's
he's a gadget player.
What?
He's a gadget player.
Gadget player. Yes, Tom. So true. He's like, he's going to be popping in wherever. He's kind of like a Taysom Hill type. I could throw him at quarterback. Maybe I throw him at tight end. Fuck me. Maybe one week he gets the RB designation. You never know.
You never know.
He's nice. That's good. You like a gadget guy. Good locker room presence. Can cook.
What was it, like two episodes ago? We learned that he's immune to mind control because of all the drugs he's done. That's useful.
That's helpful. Yeah, like you said, a lot of little fun little things with Frenchie. And he's lived an interesting life.
Very interesting. Yeah, guy's got experience, and that's always something you need on your team.
Okay, Tom, I have to hop here, so we're gonna have to make this Soldier Boy one a little fast.
Okay, I can do that. All right, Soldier Boy, there's. I'm not going to touch on his powers too much because he's essentially a Homelander that can't fly. That's all there is to him, really. His durability is a little higher. His intellect's a little higher. As I mentioned earlier, when he outsmarted that speedster, Jared Padalecki's Marathon Man, that was some next level thinking.
It was cool. And don't forget, too, he also did the thing where he's running in and he poured the baby lotion on the floor.
Yeah.
So he's got some stuff. He's like very cunning in a very like street smart way.
Yes, he's very much street smart. He's got more experience because he's actually fought. A big thing in The Boys is that all the superheroes don't actually fight that much crime and stuff because there's no like main supervillains or anything like that. Since all the superheroes are controlled through Vought. Soldier Boy, on the other hand, was part of an experiment, and he actually went and fought Nazis.
Yes.
Did he totally disagree with what all the Nazis were doing? Not really. But
he was hired.
The point was they weren't American, so they had to die.
Yeah, so he's a cunning character, And also, it's been said already, your boy.
Yeah, my boy Jensen Ackles. His performance on this is incredible, especially going from one very beloved. I mean, it's a role. I mean, when Jensen Ackles was on Supernatural, he was killing a lot of people. They were werewolves and vampires and stuff, but he was still decapitating them. That's still some dark shit. He takes this up to a whole nother level in this, and clearly is having a lot of fun with the role.
Totally.
This is clearly something. This is the type of role that he was probably thinking about. Like, man, the minute we finish this Invincible show, I'm gonna play just a fucking bastard, and he's eating it up. He is eating it the fuck up.
He's chewing scenery and loving it. I mean, you can tell, like you said, it's always fun when you can see an actor really just love the role they're in, and he does. Like, you can just tell he's doing great voice work. He has this nice, like, 50s, like, prototypical guy voice. It's just really good. It's a really
hey, Dollface, go get me another beer and smacks her on the ass. Yeah.
It's just a lot of that type stuff. It's really fun. He's having fun. It's just a good character.
Yeah. I'm going to throw out one little fun fact about him from the comics. So in the comics, in the show, he's revealed to be the father of Homelander. In the comics, Stormfront is actually the father of Homelander and kind of serves as like a Thor pastiche. And, he's called Stormfront because of the Nazi website.
Wait, hold on. Stormfront is a woman in the...
In the show, yes. Stormfront is a woman in the show. In the comics, it is a man who was the first Vought experiment, and Vought started in Nazi Germany in the comics, and only came to America because of Operation Paperclip.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so Soldier Boy in the TV show was not... So there's no real relationship between Soldier Boy
The
and
only
Commander
relationship between Soldier Boy from the show to the comics is that they're both part of Payback, which is like the Avengers ripoff for
No
the
shit.
boys. Yeah.
Well, that was a good choice for them to give him this, like, father-son. I think that's been a fun thing.
Yes, I like, and the what sucked about the like Stormfront reveal for Homelander is that he never really gets a chance to like do anything with that, because they almost immediately the Butcher, Mother's Milk, Frenchie, and the big dick dude immediately kill him. So having him do that with Soldier Boy is a lot of fun. It's always weird to see that in the comics though, because a lot of you may remember earlier in the pod I mentioned that Homelander fucks another superhero and learns that he can do whatever he wants. Yeah, that was Soldier Boy.
No shit.
Yeah, that's like, it's one of the first 5 issues or something. Homelander fucks Soldier Boy. Not because he's gay. Homelander doesn't have any sort of like sexual preferences. He just kind of puts his dick into things because it feels good.
Yeah.
And Soldier Boy's all like, oh, so you're going to get me in the 7? You're going to get me out of Payback because they suck ass and I don't like them. And you're going to give me... He's like, yeah. I got you. He's like, fuck that dude.
Doing that. Not doing that.
Yeah, Soldier Boy in the comics is very much... He's the opposite is Steve Rogers in the way is that he's a total fucking pussy. In every way, shape, and form. And I'm so glad that they went the other direction for Soldier Boy.
This was a really good call for the show.
Yes, this is Eric Kripke being a genius, is to turn that character... Like, if you're going to make fun of Captain America, there really is only 2 ways to do it. You can either make him a coward and a little bitch, and that, like, all his ideals and whatnot are nonsense, which is exactly what Garth Ennis is going to do because he fucking hates any sort of light in the world.
Yeah, I see.
And then Eric Kripke decides to go, no, I'm just going to turn him into Ultimate Captain America from Mark Miller and turn him into a racist and, like, a normal dude from the 30s and 40s. And it works so much better. It works so much fucking better.
It's so much funnier.
So much funnier.
It's so much funnier. It's, like... It's also, I think, like, very, wow, you're kind of blowing my mind here, because it's made the show infinitely more interesting going in this route.
This is my favorite adaptation from comic to screen that's changed things so wildly. And it's so different than Invincible, which is almost a one-to-one recreation, just, like, slightly moving. It's like so the Invincible one is like an anime adaptation, like JJK, where it's taking, like, multiple chapters of something and putting them in one episode and, like, rearranging some things timeline-wise. Whereas The Boys is just like, okay, so what if superheroes were controlled by a company, and just runs with that premise.
Interesting. Well, and like I said, like, even this last episode, I think it was cool where, like, there's the relationship between Soldier Boy and Homelander is more complicated. Initially, it was just like Homelander's just looking for a dad. Soldier Boy doesn't give a shit about that he has this kid, and now that's kind of changing. He's like, well, maybe I do. Like, only I, he literally says, only I can, fuck with my son.
Yeah.
Like, I've liked that they're almost like kind of like liking each other, bizarrely enough. It's kind of,
I mean, dude, even people that have the most abusive, terrible dads still remember, one baseball game.
Exactly.
Or one car show or one museum trip or something like that where
it
you
felt
have those
like
moments. Yeah.
Yeah. It's okay. Nice. Well, I learned a lot. I will say I do have grown to really love this adaptation after what you're saying, because all of these choices are like wildly different and way better.
Yeah. No, when it comes to Garth Ennis, you got to just take the minimum of what he did and just be like, what if I didn't hate the whole fucking world? And go from there.
Well, nice. Well, Tom, as always, we've gone about 30 minutes longer than we should have.
Yeah,
but,
about what we normally do.
Yeah, it's hard for us to stay. But I think we tried to stay on track.
We did. This one was hard. We haven't had a chance. We haven't really had a chance to talk about either of these shows lately, and
yeah, I know.
And I still have
Great
so much
show.
I could talk about. Yeah.
I know, seriously, I could go, but I will say for that future combine or that future draft, take Tom and I
keep these notes. Yeah, so our big picks, I'd say Thrag and Soldier Boy. I'd say those are the two big ones from this.
Agreed. Yes, keep those in mind if you're looking to build out. I would just say too, if you're looking for it, keep an eye out for Sister Sage for late round value.
Yep, Sister Sage is a great round value. I'd say the same for Machine Head too.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. We got your teams people you can build around, and then people you want to round out with. Well, Tom, as always, love doing this with you. Wouldn't want to do anything else on a Sunday night than talk some nerd stuff with you. Next topic up? Do we know yet?
It'll either be like WB Paramount, or we might do the Daredevil episode, depending on when we finally get time to do these things. The point is, it's not the anime episode yet. Cannot wait for that one though.
The anime episode will be probably
that's our finale.
It's our finale. Probably be sometime in July, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'd love to go. I'd love to do like mid-July for that one, and then I can go into the Bennett pod because I obviously have to start with that.
Right, of course, that's a given. We'll start that sometime in August. So yeah, like sometime mid-July. So yeah, I would love if anyone else has. I would love to get Ian on the WB Paramount, just on the business side. It'd be really. I'd
love to hear Dan dive into that and see if he wants to offer thoughts. I know he's a brand new dad. Congratulations to the Schlesers. But if you got time to look into that and see if that deal makes any sense to you from a financial standpoint, which is really interesting. I saw something the other day that now Paramount is going to be 49% owned by foreign companies, Saudi Arabia.
I saw that. That's the new thing. I know. It's a lot of Saudi money, of course. Sketchy for sure.
Super sketch.
I can't say I feel great about that deal. It's like everything I hear is just more and more like.
No,
anyway.
As a whole, it's bad. But the only upside to it that I see is that it's not sustainable. Like, I was worried when Discovery bought Warner Brothers, they were forced to sell it after like 3 years. So I feel like the Paramount deal would go even faster.
That's fair. Well, Tom, I appreciate you, brother. You're the man.
You too, buddy. Love talking to you.
Take it easy.
You too. See you, buddy. Well, for listening to The Scuttle. We are currently sponsored by nobody. Music performed and mixed by Digital Women. Look them up on their SoundCloud, and all hail our champion commissioner. We also have video versions of this on YouTube, so be sure to subscribe there. And as always, be kind to each other, and may the source bless this league.